Hello. Hello. Hello, this is an intro. We're watching Half a Life today. Also, the host, which is, it doesn't really exist in canon anymore. The host isn't a thing, because it's the introduction of the Trill, and we completely retcon it in DS9 with Jadzia and all them. And the Mind's Eye, which is pretty cool. That's the one where Geordi gets brainwashed. It's a great episode. Geordi, I should probably make sure everyone can hear you. People say words. Great, they can't hear you. Fantastic. So I need to go fix that. Let's see. Voice and video settings, output device, voice meter, input.
For, and you don't even know it.
All right,
Geordi gets a night. Geordi gets a night.
I remember.
Hey,
I remember
nice to see you,
Half
Sab.
the Life as the episode where Picard is escaping from Waxana.
True.
Yes.
Oh,
There's so
Good
many.
episode here now.
this has the scene where Picard, it's in a corridor and he just peeks his head out from behind a wall because he's scared that she's on the ship.
Still not as good as the episode where he compares her to A Midsummer's Day or whatever it was.
There's no triangle emote in the YouTube chat officially yet. Not yet, Shell. Soon. On the Discord, we added some emotes, but just sort of test emotes. I also need to add the barrel still that falls on Worf. I couldn't find a really good, clean picture. That's why I think I need to make my own. And I also want the one from Darmok when Picard finally understands and the guy yells, it's like, Sokath, his eyes uncovered, and has a really ecstatic look on his face. I want that one.
That's a good one, actually.
So let's see if there's anybody else old enough in voice chat to get this joke. We might call the episode Half a Life a mashup.
A mashup?
Nobody?
Not.
It might be a reference to MASH.
It is.
I guess, but okay.
David Ogden Steers, who is the alien that Waxana falls in love with, was Major
Mash.
Charles Emerson Winchester.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the scientist who wanted to prevent the supernova or whatever.
Yeah.
This
Also,
is the
MASH
face I'm
turned.
talking about on stream. Sokath, his eyes uncovered.
So, MASH watch along when?
When the Korean War is over, officially.
We'll watch that right when we're watching, like, Lord of the Rings and the Christmas Carol movie.
Okay.
Yes, but which Christmas Carol movie?
The one with Patrick Stewart, the only one.
No, the one with Bill Murray. Always the one with Bill Murray.
No, you're all wrong. It is, of course, A Muppet Christmas Carol, the greatest Christmas Carol story.
But does that have Patrick Stewart
I'm
in
upping
it?
my mic.
What?
You're all still wrong. It's the George C. Scott one.
It's the Charles Dickens book.
It hurts my soul.
We
You're
should read
all
along.
wrong.
to
It's
that.
the one from the cold open of one TNG episode.
True.
Actually, no, I like that idea. The other idea, we sit here and Ryan reads a Christmas story to everybody.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Christmas Carol to everybody.
A
Christmas story is very different.
Carol,
Yes.
Let me one up that.
Yeah, and a
We're,
Christmas
we're going to Discord radio drama that. And being Jewish and of course hating Christmas, I volunteer to be Ebenezer Scrooge.
30 seconds to start. Everyone be queued up to TNG Half a Life, Season 4, Episode 22, I think, 20-something.
I had a friend tell me, 22. I had a friend tell me something.
Yeah.
I never watched MASH really, other than like a few
22.
seconds here and there.
That's a
But
good show.
my friend who watched it, like the whole thing, he wasn't even American. He was from India, but he said that they all got jokes at the begin. They all got jokes at the beginning, but when the war goes on and on and on, at some point the
Hold
doctor
that thought.
snaps.
Press play in 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Continue.
Thank you. So there's a moment where the doctor is like completely hysterical because he just can't deal with the war and the reality of the wounded coming into his medical tent all the time. And so it becomes a really dark show after that moment. And I'm just glad TNG never went there.
That's why we got DS9.
There we go.
Jean-Luc, no. That poor man.
Poor guy.
She
He
looks
was, in
great
fact,
here. It's,
thinking of her.
it's like a sari or something almost.
Yes.
Don't,
it-
grab, don't touch the captain.
Too
Yes,
late.
indeed.
That's
What
worse
I
than
enjoy
the
is
bloody
things-
Kai grabbing people's ears. You don't grab people by their mouth. What are they doing?
I love how the
And
episode
Joseph,
starts with her
whenever-
on board.
I like it when Waxana has a dialogue with the ship's computer, because it's
Yes.
just Mrs. Roddenberry talking to herself for a few minutes.
That's not Lunberry. That's the woman that plays the computer voice.
Yeah, Majel Barrett. Her full name
Yeah.
was Majel Barrett Roddenberry. She was Gene Roddenberry's wife.
Oh yeah, okay. Now I remember.
Yeah, but
remember.
technically her name is Majel Barrett in the credits, I believe.
Okay.
I mean, Gene Roddenberry directed like the episode last week, so he's still alive right now. Like when this
Yeah.
episode aired.
Yeah, we get a memorial intro in one of the episodes. Which one was that?
Nah, it's this one.
No, it's Unification Part 1.
Yeah.
But he was sidelined from the show. He had nothing to do with the show at this point. He's just executive producer at the end, and I think who was it, Rick Berman or whatever? Whoever's executive producer after executive producer Gene Roddenberry was really in charge.
I've been gifted a picture of a blue barrel. I just need to Photoshop a Starfleet logo onto it, and we'll be all good. We'll have a barrel.
Scary.
Damn, look at Mrs. Troy there. She just immediately turned on.
Yeah. Yeah, I would actually be interested
watch
in
this on
knowing what Gene
Valentine's Day
Roddenberry would think about the new Star Trek, like the Star Trek Discovery. It's so different from the Next Generation or the original series. I would be really interested what he would think about it.
Yeah, spoilers for but the sashes with what I said before though was that I like how this episode just starts with her on board. Usually like the captain has some notice before she gets on the ship.
Ambushed.
Yeah.
Everyone watch the Rings again.
What do they call the Betazoid menopause? The phase. The phase.
I like all her titles though. She's like, I hold the keys and I'm the head of the house and
The holder of
fifth
the
daughter.
sacred chalice of Reeks, which is a moldy
Who-
clay cup.
Fine until it moves away.
She's a practiced diplomat. She knows that she needs to impress.
yeah.
And you'd think if she
Well,
was
it
that
takes, like,
practiced of a
half a
diplomat
minute
as an
to
ambassador, she would know not to be racist to all the alien species she meets. But she still
I
needs
mean,
to work
usually-
on that.
Usually she's got a point though. She was right. Those fishy fish dudes were
The
stealing
Antilleans.
stuff. Yeah.
They had a bomb or something on board.
You don't
Yeah.
use racial slurs against people just because they're terrorists. Can't do that.
She's supposed to be this like auntie or grandma character, like the aunt who pinches your cheek every time you see her.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for season 5 for the flashy intros. Season 5 for some reason takes it up to 11 with the blue trails behind the letters and
yeah.
they just overdo it.
Yeah.
You gotta shake things up sometimes. Keep it interesting.
Also, they changed the planets at season 3 or 4 or something. You know, like this season. Instead of starting off with Earth or something, it's a different flyby.
Generations.
Yeah, she's only Majel Barrett here. Oh, by the way, Ro Laren premieres in this episode, by which I mean Michelle Forbes. She's the daughter, and then 2 episodes later, she's Ro Laren. But she was obviously very talented. She's this guy's daughter, the guy who's dying, or for lack
She's
of
the
a better-
guy's
It's a shame
daughter, and
it's a
she
shame we
tells him
didn't
to
get
go
her in
kill himself.
DS9.
She's not a very nice daughter.
Cultural norms. It
It's
is
a
not
sacred-
your
They
place
thought
to
we wouldn't notice it.
My father taught me to cherish the resolution.
Well, maybe her father changed his mind. Maybe the resolution is stupid, and we should come up with a different system that doesn't mean we kill off all our most intelligent people who are trying to save the planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was suicidal. But actually, this episode really points to a moral conundrum. It's like we have a morality, and how much can you impose on another culture? But obviously, you don't want them like beating women and like enslaving people.
You might have said something very controversial there.
I did. I mean,
Do you guys want to talk about controversy? Because this episode is all going to be about not even euthanasia. I don't even know what it's about. But next episode is about relationships where people come out as transgender, basically.
right.
Is
That's
it
gonna be a
that
fun
one?
Yeah, that's the one where, because, I mean, that's not the entire episode, but that's the ending.
She does
so,
come in
the last
all
Crusher
10
falls in
minutes.
love with a dude, and then the dude becomes a lady.
Oh, that's the girl on girl episode, right?
Yeah. I don't think they kiss though, so I wouldn't get my hopes up for girl on girl action here.
It's literally
settle
in the
down, settle
thumbnail.
down.
I am literally looking at my folder right now, and it's in the thumbnail.
Oh, the kiss? Okay.
Yep.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
No, Crusher and the female host do not like lock their lips together. The female host kisses her wrist.
Oh, okay. But the actor who plays the male Trill, he is a good kisser. Cause I was watching some of that. I was like, wow, like he's going all over Gates McFadden. Not that I
mean,
blame him.
who wouldn't?
But mouth open, tongue out, like everything.
All right, settle down, everyone. We don't need to know what kind of things you watch in your spare time.
I'm feeling awkward
We have-
right now.
We have a
but
romance between Loxana and this, I don't know his name, this dude with the tattoos.
Ryson or something. Timison.
I would call him Oberat from the Stargate Atlantis,
Okay.
the replicator.
Oh,
Oh boy, there she
that's
goes,
another one.
Mrs. Troy.
Jeez, I should compile a full list
And
of
there's her
this.
assistant. She
Should
doesn't have
list
to
that
do
one.
any.
I always call him Lurch.
Yeah, he kind of has that Adams family.
Oh,
aspect
Loxana,
to it.
no.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Spilled out those pads onto the floor. Well, at least it's carpeted, so I guess it's okay. But
it,
This is the
not-
future.
that-
They're
but
not
why?
They're not iPhones.
the engineering
How fast is it
workstation is not a picnic table.
look at the warp core in the background when we get a shot of Loxana. It's going like 50 beats per
Yeah.
minute instead of the one.
That's
going
Warp
fast.
8.
It would
Yeah,
be
they're
like
trying to get
Warp
it quick
20.
to deal with it.
Settle down. We don't need to know what you watch in your free time.
I do like
See,
to
I
watch
watch-
the warp core.
I
Don't
watch
know,
way
I
too
don't
much
care.
Next Generation, and there's all these YouTube videos of Next Generation ambient sounds, like bridge sounds, engineering sounds, and in like 80% of them, the warp engine hum is way too high.
Yeah,
I mean, you can hear that it's training, and I just get anxiety, feeling like we're traveling somewhere
Yeah.
at warp 9.5. Like, slow down, dude. Please record a lower sound.
I agree. I don't get much relax from the warp core thing. I'd rather be on the bridge.
Listening to the warp core is like listening to a heartbeat. Sometimes it's calming.
Actually, let her be on the bridge.
Oh, there she goes.
I like the bridge sound. You know, like a little beep here and there. You know, just everything's going okay. That relaxes me. I could go to sleep to that.
I would
Yes.
hate to be on the TOS bridge because of how is it still beeping. I
so loud.
couldn't be there for 5 minutes.
Everything beeping and blinking and blinking. What does it do?
Yeah, on the
Yeah,
Voyager
the
bridge,
lights
it would be
beam.
the best. It's not that loud.
Yeah.
There's
And
also
Voyager's.
sound-
Go ahead.
There's also sounds like that you can listen to on your phone or something. You know, they have the Star Trek sounds. Like you can even listen to the warp core sounds.
Timison seems kind of like he's traumatized here, not by Loxana, but by something he's not talking about yet.
Oh, what could it
Yeah.
be?
Yeah, he's not feeling so hot.
Next Generation is when they really started picking up some really good actors who could act.
Yeah.
He's fine. Like, I mean,
I
look,
like
it's about like what is that? What is that thing? Silver singles or something like 50 plus. It's about a 50 plus romance. Okay, like you're not gonna get if you the next episode is more of a 30 something romance. But he's I really like him.
David Ogden Steers. That man is a treasure.
No, what I'm saying, what I'm just saying is though I'm defending his acting in this episode. If that's Timison.
I actually said it's pretty good.
Oh, okay. I thought you said.
I said Next Generation is where they get the good actors. Original series with well, I didn't watch much,
okay.
but that's where you get all the camp.
I thought you meant next season. Okay. Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, Timison's great.
Yeah,
he's great.
Like
Last
you see
week,
the pain.
we were talking about how Barclay's great. I always liked that actor too.
Barclay is great.
But like he is. But what I'm saying about Timison here, you see the pain that the character goes through.
Very good.
In the sense that I want to live and I don't want but on the other hand, I love my people and I don't want to be buried on any other planet. So I mean, I think we all would wind up making the same choice more or less because, I mean, it's very especially when they cut off when they don't accept the additional work he's doing after he chooses to live, they cut off. They don't even want his input anymore, and that kills him emotionally.
Kills them. They're suicidal. This is the man who is the foremost expert on saving their entire civilization, and they kill him.
Yeah, their star is about to die, and they have to reignite it. And he's the only one who can, apparently. But
is this their star or is this a test star? I think this is a test
star.
That's a test star.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's why they're at war.
I mean, if I remember correctly, this star is going to blow up, and you wouldn't wanna do it in like a solar system.
Right.
Yeah,
Tell me,
they
how
overdo
did
it.
the torpedoes survive this
That's what I was
much
thinking.
heat?
Yeah, how did they get to the core?
They're literally just pods.
Force fields.
Well, I
don't
just
get
remembered
metaphysics
an
until
episode
season
from
6.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just remembered an episode from Star Trek Enterprise, and they had like a shuttlecraft. Another civilization had a such shuttlecraft that could go inside the sun corona and deeper. So perhaps they're using some kind of shields for the photon torpedoes. I mean, this is like 2 centuries later.
I mean, we have an
Yes,
episode like that in Next Generation with Crusher.
I mean, the Voyager.
60.
I love you, Dr. Crusher.
Has it going closer? It's pretty close.
I think that's when Crusher was trying to find her cause.
So in 4 centuries, we will be able to make torpedoes that withstand 137 million degrees Kelvin.
Probably not.
I'd be more
I don't
worried
think so.
about the pressure.
Yeah.
I'd be more worried
The
about it
gravity.
still being around in 4 centuries.
The gravity actually is pretty problematic. More than the heat.
All right. Yes, yellow is a hotter color than orange. The star is increasing in temperature.
Yeah.
Core increases temperature on the outer layers. The outer layers brighten up.
Blue is the hottest color for a star.
Yeah.
And that's not my personal opinion, by the way.
Yes, those are typically O-type stars.
You know, Einstein was
Someone
inspired.
Someone here dabbles in astrophysics, it sounds.
Oh, you guys want
Yes,
to want
very
to
much
talk
do.
about space and physics? Oh, we could talk about space and physics. Like if you looked at that star really closely when they in the previous shot, they did a really. I mean, it was an okay, but it was pretty good simulation. You could see it was brighter in the middle and darker at the edges because when you're looking at a star straight on, you're seeing further in because you're not looking at. If you're looking at the edges, you're looking at an angle, so you're seeing just the edge. If you're looking straight in, you're seeing closer to the core, and the closer to the core is hotter. And if it's hotter, it's brighter, and it's great.
Yeah, and now they're screwed
Why
up.
am I talking about physics?
Space facts.
Warp
Yeah.
2.
I'm actually procrastinating on some
Draw
physics work.
supernovas a bit.
Also,
Worth
that's
it.
Odd.
That's not what supernovas look like at all. That's not. I don't know what that was. That was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, Hollywood is not exactly good at physics.
They try.
There's a better supernova
try.
in the episode with what's it called? The telepath and the stellar creature. Ryan, you might
Tin Man?
remember. Yes, Tin Man. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, yes, we did
Slightly
just invent
better.
another way to blow up stars. We can use this as a weapon. Thank you, Timison.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
that's
is what
how I'm
happened
gonna
to the Romulans.
spend my last days just sitting out a window looking at the stars. Looking out a window.
That's what I
Contemplating
like to
your
do when I
deep
go out
failure.
places. When I go out places, I just like to look at the traffic and see what's going on out there. See what's going on outside to see what's going on out there.
One thing I liked though was that they mentioned Timison's wife died and she was buried, and this is why Timison's not is able to be a bachelor, gallivanting around the Enterprise.
Yeah, Mrs. Troy asks him tactfully.
Oh yeah, I just got it at the end because Ro Laren, Michelle Forbes, says that I hate the idea that you won't be buried next to my mother. And we're very sentimental beings like that. Like, even though being
Yeah,
buried
it doesn't
with
really matters. Yeah, we're sentimental about it, but the reality of it is it doesn't really matter.
right, you would think saving the star would be more important and your people.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Like
when these people don't even get the results of his work, that's like,
yeah,
yeah,
they don't even acknowledge him. So
yeah, exactly.
very
Now we
emotional
get the crux of
episode.
the episode. There
All
is
your
no
heartstrings are pulled.
to die.
To die, yeah.
Not
In fact,
'cause he's sick,
when I was
not 'cause he's injured.
when I was when I was in third grade, they had us read just a storybook, and there was a village in Japan that sent all their old people to go die in the mountain after they turned a certain age. And one time there was like an evil, I don't know, spirit or shogun or something, and he said you have to solve this puzzle, otherwise they're going to take over the whole village, and you have to put a thread through a knotted piece of wood, with all these holes in it. And so finally this little boy goes up the mountain, finds an old grandmother, and the grandmother says you tie a string to an ant, and put a piece of sugar on the other side of the log, and the ant will travel through all the little holes in the log and be able to thread that piece of wood. And then they stop killing all their elders. Because old people are useful. They are not to be discarded.
Yeah. I mean,
thinking of
those
something
old people
completely
were
different.
They also have inherent worth,
more
whether
like
they're
a drill
useful
than
or
a drill
not.
in the next episode.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was just about to ask that if I am the only one who thinks this has been an early version of the trail and they were testing it.
So they copied the trail makeup that they use in DS9 from a character who shows up later on. God, I can't remember her name, but it's played by Famke Janssen, who later went on to be Jean Grey in the X-Men movies. It's the same,
What's her
literally
name?
the same
Famke
spots.
Janssen?
Famke Janssen. I can't remember the name of the episode, or gosh, it's the one where Picard is preparing for
the perfect mate.
Yeah, perfect mate. That's what it is. The woman who's an empath who basically matches whatever her mate wants.
Yeah, isn't that another Geordi episode?
No, that's a Picard.
No. Absolutely Picard.
Picard falls in love with the lady, and then the lady bonds to him, and it's a whole thing. She can only bond once, and
It reminds me of when Geordi has that like shapeshifter
I know
that he
it's
finds on
right
the
here.
station or something. They've been in.
Wasn't it the dog in the end?
Yeah, it becomes
was the dog.
it was the dog.
Fido was a bad boy in that episode.
Geordi goes through some crazy stuff in the next couple of seasons.
Every character in the Next Generation has their typical episode, and Geordi and Troy probably get the worst. With Geordi having the weird shit, and Troy always getting the romance with a secret bad guy. Every time.
The Space Ghost?
Yeah, that's Crusher, but definitely the her
Crusher,
too.
but it's up there.
I don't know, Troy seems pretty into it. She's jealous of Crusher at that point.
You know what I love about this scene though is that she tells Timison, "I will never go to your planet," and he's a little bit wounded by that because obviously he loves his people. But by the end, she does go to his resolution ceremony.
Wait. What do you mean this? I think you might be several minutes ahead. They're in the transporter room right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it later on here. She says, "Well, Right. Okay, you're no. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not. I am watching the transporter thing, but I'm not paying attention to the dialogue like I should be. You're right.
Yeah.
Take notes. We'll ask questions.
I mean, I already did my homework. I watched all 3 episodes the week.
You don't have to
couple of
watch
days
the
ago.
episodes before it. You could just react.
No, but then I can offer commentary on how do we feel about the Taliban throwing acid in women's faces.
You could do that in real time too. You know.
It's less candid if you do it like that.
Yeah, you're kind of talking about stuff that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. I got you. But the thing was though, when we were just talking and I was just watching, I would miss major plot points, and then I would be asking silly questions like, "When did Luoxana come on the ship?" And then that takes up valuable airtime. So when you told me to take notes, believe me, I do my homework.
Yeah, I've seen The Next Generation like half a year ago, like the Next Generation, and I still remember like almost all of it, so that's enough.
How many husbands has Luoxana gone through by now? It was Picard and Riker, then a hologram. I mean, there's her dead husband from a while ago.
I think her dead husband is the only one she's actually been married to.
And
then last week in Deep Space Nine, we saw her
ceremony with that other guy.
marry Odo and the Tavernian.
Yeah, that's in the future though.
Oh, okay, yeah. That
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah,
happened.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's in the past for us, but yeah.
Yeah, we're on husband like number 6 or 7 at this point for Luoxana.
Holy crap.
She was a good actress back then. You know, she was from.
You might recall, apparently in Betazoid culture, men are property. So Luoxana can just get another husband if she loses one.
She definitely carries the episode too, because you feel her objections.
Actually, yeah, I like her as the computer voice.
Yeah, this woman has made so many contributions to Star Trek. We cannot.
She was good as the computer voice.
She was also involved in Earth Final Conflict and
She was Nurse Chapel in the original series.
Yep.
She was also
You know,
number
she
1
was
in the
born-
original pilot.
Yes.
You know, she was born from Cleveland, Ohio, which is where I am.
I didn't know that.
And I didn't know that either until I did some research, and then I found she was born from Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm like, oh, so was I.
She has a
I just
fabulous
remembered
outfit
something.
on.
So, I don't know if this story is true, but it's a story I heard and it amuses me.
Motion detected at the front
And that's my
door.
mom.
At the
She
front
may
door,
be
by the way.
coming home. Yeah, I think that's
Luoxana-
my mom. She was coming home from work.
Majel Barrett, of course, in the original
Had to go in
pilot,
for work
played
or
number 1 with her normal brown hair that she has. And after that pilot, the studio said to get rid of everybody, get a completely new cast. But because she was Gene Roddenberry's wife, he just brought her back in a blonde wig, so Nurse Chapel is blonde. So they wouldn't notice.
Motion detected at the front yard.
By the way, she was a really
Yeah,
good
but
number 1. But like the thing was like she was kind of cold, and that's why like when they put her in when the aliens want the humans to procreate, like she doesn't have any chemistry with Pike, because she never saw him in that way. So
what did I miss?
Luoxana is sort of staring creepily at a man while he sleeps.
Yeah.
she has, "How long were you watching me? A minute, an hour?" It's not a good response when you're looking at someone.
When you're a woman of a certain age, it's forgivable.
I mean, when your lover is dying in 3 days for like no reason whatsoever, it's kind
She
of
just met him a day ago.
I mean, they do have an amazing chemistry. We all should be so lucky to find someone that we bond with like this.
Amen.
Death Watch facilities, also known as nursing homes, yes. Yeah, this is just premature euthanasia.
It is a quandary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because we do recognize an age limit. It's kind of weird, right? Because, members of the Supreme Court don't have to resign, but for example, there's like mandatory retirement in many countries at a certain age, even though somebody could have their faculties. I understand death is different than retirement, but I'm just saying we do say, okay, there's an age limit, and then you can't contribute to our society anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's an age limit, but those people have been working their whole lives. In this case, a scientist who's been saving the whole world. And the society should repay this somehow. So it's not like, well, now you're useless to us, we're just gonna kill you. It should be like, yeah, the society should put
Scientists
something
are a
back,
bad
like-
example because academia actually has plenty of positions for old farts who are crumbling down, including emeritus positions.
You can't
My
do
university is
academia
full of them.
until you're really bad with Alzheimer's.
Also, every developed nation that has a system where it's like there's a retirement age, they don't just make them retire and say good luck. They have a social safety net for those people.
True, true.
Yeah, you're right. A pension is the opposite of the death penalty. You're right.
Depends on the pension.
Yeah, if you cut the pension, then
Yeah.
there's the death penalty. Yeah.
There might be controversial. My opinion is personally that when there's a point where they just aren't living, they're just sitting there and unable to really do anything, then there is a point where perhaps you should.
I mean,
I
this
don't
episode
disagree.
sounds like it's really going for, like, you should let people choose if they want to die. But the
Yeah.
episode's not actually saying. The episode's saying you need to force people to die. You either have to force them to
Yeah.
live or force them to die.
We get a euthanasia episode next season, don't we?
That's Worf, right? After he's injured.
Ethics?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Worf's always about to commit suicide, though. That's a different character. But sorry, one thing though that was really amazing about this episode is that he talks about my society didn't have enough money for Social Security, so we set a standard age at the resolution. So we actually could be headed this way. Not that I'm singling out people who would agree with the idea in this chat, but I'm saying though is that like if Social Security goes bankrupt and we don't have enough money to take care of the elderly, then we might actually make a similar decision. Not me or you per se, but it was a.
It is an existing theory in the social and economic sciences.
Kill the old.
The biggest weight, so to say, on the economy is, of course, those who do not work, children and the elderly.
Right, and also actually, for public healthcare, the number one cost of health insurance, Medicaid even, is the hospice care, and some people just get put in long-term hospice care, and some people shouldn't even be in there. So when you put somebody, in a facility for like years, that's going to cost up like hundreds of thousands of dollars to Medicaid. So I don't know, how long should you keep somebody on a death watch?
We're also going to get another euthanasia episode in the Quickening, when the people get sick and they go to Trevian to die, where he poisons them.
Man, Trek really likes
There's a
that
lot of
subject.
it in Star Trek.
Wait,
Is that one
Quickening, that's
tomorrow?
DS9?
Yeah, DS9
Yeah,
the
DS9.
Quickening. I think that's tomorrow. Yes, it is.
From what I remember, yeah, it is. It was. Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was thinking of that. I was thinking. I think I remember this episode now. This is actually where Janet Troy gets married, right? Isn't it?
Not sure, actually.
Isn't this where they plan? Isn't this where they plan? Where they plan some kind of writing on the ship?
No, there's another episode, I think we already watched it, where Loaxana shows up with a husband for Troy, I think, and then the wedding, the Betazoid wedding is everyone's naked.
Yeah, okay. That's like
No, that's coming up.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's coming up. I remember.
Time has come, let me go.
It seems like a season 1 or 2 plot, but okay.
It's an Alexander episode. It's the one with the holodeck and the floating head.
Yeah.
The higher, the
That's
fewer.
coming up.
Yeah, all the
Oh,
children's
look at that limb
characters.
darkening on that display. Oh, it's gone now.
Yeah, good
Brighter in the
observation,
middle,
Ryan.
darker on the edges on that star. Lovely.
I didn't see it. Okay.
On your toes.
Ryan, my dude, you an astrophysicist?
No, but I do have a bachelor's in physics with a focus in astronomy. I have an education
my
in
way
physics,
there.
but not a job in physics.
Astro and physics, but not astrophysicist.
Why not go for a master's degree?
I might, but I'm just not doing that now.
He's busy watching Star Trek and playing Solaris.
Yeah, I'm busy watching Star Trek and making dumb YouTube videos.
Same, that's why I might flunk out of my physics major.
Do you want some notes? Because I have all my notes right next to me. Let me.
No, I'm kidding, I'm fine. I'm kidding, I'm fine.
You're supposed to take notes.
Let's see. What do I have? I have. Let's see. I have some thermal mechanics notes. I have some quantum mechanics notes. I have.
Timoson's
economics-
brain
why
is
do I have
really
economics
churning
notes?
over here.
Do you want
I'm actually
economics
done
notes?
with all the hard stuff. My biggest mistake was double majoring with chemistry.
Okay.
It's a huge load.
Yeah, that sounds difficult.
But I'm done with quantum. I'm
fun.
done with analytical electromagnetics. I'm done with solid body physics. I'm done with the hard stuff. It's
Now,
all.
could you back me up on this? That you cannot use quantum entanglement to communicate faster than light?
He's wrong.
I do not understand enough to answer that question yet.
Okay.
So,
ignorance on the subject.
That's fine.
Asylum.
My understanding is that the biggest limitation is bandwidth. Like you can literally send 1 bit at a time.
You can't send any bits at a time.
I love the minister over here. He's like, asylum from what? He's like that's our culture. Like, what could possibly wrong with forcibly euthanizing grown retired people?
I mean, there is a quantum entanglement is a thing. Whether or not it's faster than light is a question that I don't have any answer to. But I'm pretty sure you can still send a bit back and forth through quantum entanglement.
I made the assertion that you could, because it does go faster than light.
Quantum entanglement is definitely a thing, but you can't use it to get any information from the other side. Like, you can send a message, even if it's just 1 bit. Them's the rules.
Okay, but what if the thing is when I change the electron, you press play on the Star Trek episode?
May
How
I
about that?
interrupt you?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Please.
Just for the less bright of us, so what are we talking about?
When two particles are in superposition, it means that no matter how far they are connected in a way at the quantum level. Is when you
hang
move
on.
one.
Because keep in mind, English as a second language. So I don't. Sadva, do you know the term a quantum, or because I know you don't speak English as a first language. So I don't know what the, I don't know what the check word would be.
Motion detected.
Yeah, but
at
she's a Star Trek nerd, so her vocabulary would be far beyond the average American.
Basically, like there's 2 particles. And
Yeah.
No matter how
much
far
I
apart
understand that 2 particles. Yeah, they are.
Motion detected at the front yard.
no matter how far away they are, if one is like doing one thing, then the other will also do the thing.
Yes.
Quantum entanglement. But the question is, if you do one thing to one particle, can you use that to send a message to someone who's looking at the other particle?
That's a good question.
That's a real question, because when you're observing something at the quantum level, the observing makes the particle to change.
Yeah, it collapses.
Was that Tracy?
That's Tracy.
Tracy!
It collapses the wave function.
Wait. What kind of ship was that? I looked away for a second. I just saw a ship. What was it? Was that a triangle? I'm looking for it. I think that's a triangle.
I think it's a
2
triangle.
triangle ships.
Oh my god, we have 2 triangles.
Yeah, it was there
That's
for
a special occasion.
I'll wait for them to show up on screen again, because
There they are. Those are definitely triangle ships.
Those are 2 triangles. We're up to 28. 28 triangles.
Are they in superposition with each other?
No, they're indefinitely different. No,
While we are going, 28 triangle ships.
they're not in superposition, but they're definitely in super positions, if you know what I mean. Also, we have Shell now because
Superimposed.
someone left. I don't know who left.
The problem with any scientific major is that once you get to your first quantum mechanics courses, everyone around you starts using horrible pickup lines involving superpositions. It doesn't
Okay.
go away until you graduate.
Oh, Deutschland left. So Deutschland left, so now we have Shell.
Hi.
Yay.
A lot of people left.
Welcome.
Shell meets Sergeant Darnsocks. It's his first time aboard.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, Sergeant.
But what
Thank
color
you,
are the
thank you.
socks? Are they regulation black?
Gray.
Gray? Oh. Hmm.
Timson's acting.
On the subject of regulation and uniforms, my heart is broken that we never got a Star Trek show where the main uniform is the snazziest uniform in Starfleet history, the Enterprise B, Enterprise C era uniform.
Yeah, those are great. And I like those badges. Like they're a lot different from the other ones.
Just look so good, and the wide shoulders, they look like a uniform.
Yeah,
Not a
they look
unitard.
warm.
Yeah, I
I would-
actually kind of like the uniform Captain Kirk used in the first movie, the motion picture. It also looks kind of sleek.
The gray jumpsuits. All right.
I'm
Pajamas.
always in favor of the Enterprise uniforms, the blue ones, the jumpsuits with the pockets.
Oh, that's so utilitarian.
I mean, the Enterprise uniforms are the only ones that
Oh,
have
there's Ro.
pockets.
Hi, Ro.
Oh,
She's got a
Oh,
gray
I've been
hair.
muted this whole time. God damn it.
She's
Do
got
all
that
women
Cindy
have
Lou
that
Who
haircut?
haircut, but it's still
You think-
Lieutenant
you
Ro
thi-
for sure, or Ensign Ro.
you think
Yeah.
she can catch satellite with that hair?
Probably.
Maybe.
She was infiltrating Timson's planet as a Bajoran terrorist.
No, clearly it's part of their species. She like receives radio signals.
Yeah.
It's amazing she shows up in the next two episodes because I thought it was a season later, but they're just like, yeah, you need to be Ro Laren.
It's a shame she didn't sign up for DS9.
She was offered the
we
role,
got- we-
but she just turned it
We
down.
got Kira, and Siddig Al Fadil got Nana
Whoa, that's not his
Visitor.
name. It's
Alexander Siddig got.
Fadil, Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed
That's
Abdul
his
Karim
name,
al-Mahdi.
Alexander Siddiq.
That's not his name. His name
Thank
is
you,
Siddiq
Kevin.
al-Tahil al-Fadil Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed
Siddiq.
Abdul Karim al-Mahdi.
He changed his name to Alexander Siddig for that reason. 'cause
His
he was
name
tired of
isn't
people
Alexander
saying
Siddiq. It's Siddiq al-Tahil al-Fadil Abdurrahman Muhammad Ahmed Abdul Karim al-Mahdi.
that. So that handsome London actor, he got Nana Visitor. So I think it really worked out. I don't think Michelle Forbes would have married Alexander Siddig.
That's not his name, and you know it. Next person who says
You're correct.
Alexander Siddiq is kicked out.
Siddiq
It's not his
al-Tahir
name.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good, Sergeant. Hey, look,
mean,
Will Aaron's crying.
Let's speak a little bit Farragut. Just a
Okay.
bit. Not
Probably
the good
pronounce it
bits.
better than me.
Oh, that's weird. She's basically crying because she wants her father to die.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, look, just imagine what a Catholic mom feels like when her son says or daughter says, I don't want to take confirmation. It's like, what? You're not going to be a Catholic? I baptized you. You know, we sent you to Sunday school. You're not going to
Yeah.
do the Eucharist?
Actually, my father is a really religious person, and I remember a time period when he tried to push me into religion, but yeah, I'm not really into that.
Yeah, the pressure is full. You know, tears, threats, blackmail, everything they can get away with.
Yeah. Really, it's very real. Yeah, you can see he's crying too.
Oh, yeah, this episode is emotional torture.
It's emotional scene right here.
Troy always has the most bombastic outfits. I mean, Troy Senior, the mom.
Yep.
Those dresses. I mean, how does she pack all of them?
Well, she does in a huge container, and then Captain Picard has to carry it around.
Also triangles.
Yes. A beautiful ship
Great
design.
episode.
Absolutely perfect.
This is such a great episode.
Is this actually this? Oh no, that's a mirror. Okay.
Yeah.
What's
I
a
thought that
private
was some
boom?
green
Might
screen
reflect
effect to a
into it.
second room, but no, that's okay.
There was a private boom reflected into it.
I hope the government funds Social Security so we don't have to
Motion
resort to this.
detected at the front yard.
At what
It's
time
fine,
in the
Watson,
episode
just
are we?
What time?
And to keep
Just
saying the
about
name,
41
I mean,
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, 41 minutes. 41:01, 02, 03.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
The
Flip's
stream is
only just
delayed
amount of time
anyways.
remaining in this is, yeah.
This is our fourth outfit this episode. Wow. Each is better than the
She
next.
brings a lot of luggage.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got Lurch there to haul it around.
Aretha Franklin, who was the number one gospel and pop singer in the 60s, she had her funeral like 2 years ago. I love her, by the way. So I didn't watch the funeral, but it was like 8 hours long, and apparently they dressed her up in like 11 or 12 different outfits or something like that.
That's weird.
And
No.
people, yeah, it is weird. But I mean, she's the diva of all American
Of
pop
course,
music.
I remember that day. It was a great day for radio. I had a long drive and actually enjoyed it.
Me too. I put her whole discography on at work. But people were making a joke. Did you hear they renewed the next season of Aretha Franklin's funeral?
Jesus.
Jesus.
Motion
Motion
detected at the front yard.
Motion detected.
Intruder alert.
Yeah, you can.
That's
But
the
when I
dog
die,
this
just
time.
bury me in whatever I died in. It's fine. Don't need
Yeah.
don't need to go to
But
the effort.
back in the day, people had two outfits, like a morning and an evening outfit, and that was just considered like etiquette. But
It's after 6. What am I, a farmer? Of course I'm wearing a suit. Poor Timothy. Timothy is now elected to die.
Yeah.
He deserved better.
Justice for Timothy. Can we sanction this other planet?
I mean, it's
Prime
not a
directive,
Federation planet.
something. Ooh, look, Picard forgot to shine his third pip there. It's a bit tarnished
It's
there.
looking a bit dull.
yeah, that was an oversight.
I thought, before you got to the end of that sentence, I thought you were going to say, he forgot to shine his head.
I was thinking of waxed apples too. Aw, we've already said our goodbyes. I mean, Loaxan is not coming.
She's going.
She's here.
Another outfit.
She took the time to change, that's why she's
This
late.
is her sad outfit.
But
This
to
is her
stay,
somber outfit. Oh man, this was so sweet. Oh, so sweet. And she has to promise she's not going to cause any problems.
Because she always causes problems.
Picard doesn't want to hear Loaxana Troy's flipping over tables at Timoson's resolution.
Like, oh god, oh thank god she's off the ship. I'm free. Run away. Escape. Warp out.
Warp Factor 9, engage.
Like, half the reason he was fighting for this guy to live was so he could marry her off.
Okay, so I think the next
Executive producer,
the next video
Rick
on my
Berman.
channel is going to be that scene there. But then I edit in Picard walking onto the bridge and saying "Warp 9 engage." Just match those two together.
No, unfortunately, I might be to the time, but quantum entanglement is the opposite. So one state, if one has one spin, the other one has the other spin.
Yeah.
Right. And if you change the spin on one in real time, the spin on the other will be changed, even if you're on the other side of the galaxy, which means faster than light communication is possible.
No, because
Definitely doesn't
The thing is,
mean that. No.
we can't
Absolutely not.
control the effect. That's
you
what.
cannot
That's the issue.
measure the spin on the other side
What do you
reliably.
mean? You don't have to measure it. If it's going one way clockwise, the other one will be going counterclockwise. There's nothing.
Yes, but you have to
Yeah, but that
measure it
doesn't-
to actually receive the communication, and if it's immeasurable without, actually destroying the
Observation.
wave function, yes, the observation ruins it.
Okay.
The information is there, but there's no way to access it without ruining it and making
There's a whole space time on all this.
PBS space time. Yeah.
The
The next episode is Host, which features the first same-sex hand kiss on television.
I don't think that's true. In any event, we now need to decide who to remove from the voice chat. Someone needs to go.
Actually,
Congratulations, Netflix, on the Mind's Eye. It tells you the entire plot of the episode in its description.
Yes, thank you. Netflix.
Actually, I feel like staying up, but I gave my word, and I should probably be a good boy and sleep before my morning lectures. So I will thank all of you for the lovely company, and I hope to see all of you next week.
Okay. We'll be
Thank
back
you
tomorrow
for joining
for
us.
Deep Space Nine, the quiz,
Thanks for
and
joining
some
us.
other stuff.
Nice having you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
see you tomorrow, Sergeant.
Hey,
And
Bill.
there's Bill.
Hey, bud.
Welcome, Bill.
1 minute timer.
So
We'll join fans back in the
yes, we
queue
need
as
to. We're still getting rid of some folks. I still need to roll.
There's someone else waiting?
Sorry, Bill. Don't forget to add 4 silver because both Anam and I paid you back
Oh,
for
no.
the bottle.
Deutschland got out of the chat, out of the queue.
Okay. Marital duties.
So yeah, if anyone else wants to join in, you can join the queue, and then you'll automatically brought in next time someone is someone leaves.
Oh, I think I'm in.
So make sure you
Yeah.
never
Yes, welcome,
leave.
Bill.
Oh, it's automatic. I thought I had to move myself.
Nah,
Okay.
man.
I think I am going to leave, and thank you for this watch along, and
Good to have you back.
hopefully see you tomorrow.
Okay.
See you.
Yeah. Cool.
I stand relieved.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow, Sergeant.
All right.
Hey,
There's Rob.
Deutschland.
No, it's
Welcome.
That's nice.
Oh.
Bill, I don't know if you heard before, but as we're together right now, both Anam
1
and I
minute
have
timer.
paid you back for 2 silver each for the bottle that you bought
Which
us.
episode? The host?
The next episode
Yes,
is
you're
The
watching that.
Host. 1 minute timer, season 4, episode 23.
I haven't paid you yet, Bill. I mean to the 2 game silver coins or for the mead that you bought us.
So for context, we're talking about D&D, Dungeons and
Yeah,
Dragons.
this has
Yeah.
nothing to do with Bill.
Yes, we've played that now on the Discord server, so
Yes.
We had a
It's
bet
if you
on
want to
in
join
10
in, you
you
can
see.
come and join the Discord.
We have an interest form to fill out.
Beverly has a heartthrob in this episode, though. I'm happy for her. Except for the fact that he has a bulging parasite in his stomach.
He's okay with it.
The bulging parasites are just the friends we made along the way.
Just against bulging parasites.
All right,
Aziz, it's
everybody
not an
ready to press
exclusive
play in
tumor.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Is that a 300-year-old bulging parasite in your stomach, or are you just happy to see me?
Yeah.
It's not an explosive tumor.
It's not the tumor.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Oh, we got
Oh
a
my
letter from
gosh.
Wesley.
That's great.
Oh, he's
So
struggling
they have
with ancient
posts.
philosophy,
We're-
so
we're
like
starting-
19th
we're
century
ancient
philosophy.
We're heading towards the
I think this is the
They have
thumbnail
a-
you were referring to. Or
Yeah.
whoever
They
that
have
is.
the post because she says an actual letter, so it's implied that like he licked a stamp and sent it to her.
I assume it was an email, though.
So he doesn't even email his mom. That's pretty bad.
But he just did email his mom.
But she says finally got an actual letter.
Yeah.
And here Data is trying to bother them and they have to come up with an excuse why they cannot be briefed on medical literature right now. Have you ever tried to be third wheel on a date? That's what this feels like. And the funny thing is, like,
Data
Crusher,
doesn't even feel the awkwardness.
no, and then Crusher goes to this guy's quarters, and then like she rushes back to go see Data. She just has like Data programming a console for an hour.
And I was gonna say, could they be less subtle about this? But I mean, they're talking to Data. They don't have to be subtle.
Yeah. I think she says later on the bridge, like, do you need another hypo spray or something? Which is a metaphor for sex, apparently, in Next Generation.
Don't lie to Data. He doesn't know any better.
Which is lying.
He was inserting himself though, like, you know, I perfect timing. I could brief you on both of those.
This is the Trill version 1. They're much more disturbing these days.
Yes, Trill Mark 1.
They're also much more parasitic instead of symbiotic.
Yeah, actually, those spots on Trills in DS9 were added because, well, it suits Jadzia, and they wanted her to look great, so they choose spots instead of the ridges.
And also, if they're putting Jadzia in a Starfleet uniform, and they're notoriously very tight, so you can't have all that bulging from her stomach constantly.
Yeah.
Moving around. Even this dude's
Well, that's so
very
tight. That's why we have the
this
Picard
episode.
maneuver.
They put it in Riker, and then Riker gets on some very loose clothing. I don't think Crusher
you
knows
guys
about
are
the
never
parasite yet.
You guys are never going to guess what I'm eating today. Astronaut
Pasta.
ice cream.
Oh, I was right.
I've had that. It's space frozen, which is like frozen with nitrogen, deep frozen, and that's what lets it last for like.
So is that just spicy ice cream?
It says here freeze dried and ready to eat.
Yeah.
Except it's not really frozen anymore.
At some point in the 60s, like they thought all food could be freeze dried, and it was just a better way to preserve it. And at some point, like the idea was you'd be getting like a whole chicken freeze dried that you would just defrost in your nuclear microwave. It is superior to other methods of freezing, but most of the time it's just astronaut ice cream.
It was my go-to every time I went up to the Air and Space Museum in the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
I want to say the effect was really great when they showed the stomach of his stomach bulging, because it looks like a guy with like a fist coming out of his stomach, basically, or like the thing from Aliens. You know, like you have an alien fetus inside you that's about to like rip you open, and you're about to die.
Yeah, that's gonna be done with CGI. That's it. Is it done with CGI?
That would have been done with a prop.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a practical effect. It's pretty easy-ish.
Okay, yeah. UV. Okay.
I don't think I'm ever gonna find out what this man's name is, so I'm just gonna call him Fabio, if that's okay.
No, it's Michael Bolton.
Yes, look in the general chat.
Huh?
Do we need this lingering shot? Is this necessary to the plot?
Yes.
Totally. Absolutely 100% crucial. Critical to the
I
plot.
don't know why, but yes.
People are
It's
kissing
necessary
in
for
my
filling
Star
the
Trek.
time.
I thought that was just an Alex Kurtzman thing. You can't kiss in Star Trek. Disgusting.
Yeah, you can. You can kiss anywhere.
Don't eat your.
Yeah, you can. It was actually a problem when Kirk kissed Uhura back in the day, because of, well, racism, unfortunately. That was a big thing back then.
Yes.
But also, it was an unwilling kiss, so.
Yeah, that's it's
It was
strangely
really on William Shatner's part.
well, yeah.
I think they took out Sulu's kiss from the Naked Now for like a similar reason, like they just didn't want to show Uhura and Sulu kissing or something.
Yeah, William
See,
Shatner
this
they did
is
a bunch
what
of takes where
astronaut
they
ice
didn't
cream
kiss
looks like.
to show the studio, and he just ruined every take where they didn't kiss.
Now that is a beautiful shot.
Yeah. You don't get many shots like that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Astronaut ice cream. That one's Neapolitan, but mine is mint chocolate chip.
Yeah, see, that's Ryan. That's what it looks like so far. The packaging, and then here
That's
is
not
the
Hasbro,
actual
though.
ice cream.
Thought you had Hasbro ice cream.
No, it's freeze-dried ice cream. That's what astronauts eat. And here's the actual ice cream that you would normally eat. It's on the link. I don't know why.
Yes.
These chairs are very interesting.
I can't decide if they look comfortable or not.
Deanna.
The chairs, I'm not convinced by the headrest. It looks like that would make your shoulders uncomfortable if you actually lean back.
Well, the
They're
thing
probably
is,
refuse from somewhere else.
it's like I'm sitting in a chair right now where a headrest like that would be good because the back of your head is not in line with the back of your back.
Yeah.
Global warming, you say?
Turn this thing into a
Global
picture,
warming.
but it's
I thought
coming
global
up
Global
as
warming
warming on
didn't
another
exist.
globe. She can say that because she's a doctor.
Wait,
Hey, can I
is
screen
this-
share what I'm trying to? Sorry.
is this actually just straight up a global warming episode and how people are obstructing any attempt to actually counteract it?
They didn't even analogize it either. Data literally said quote
Yeah.
global warming unquote.
And people are, yeah.
They just had to make it sexy so people would pay attention.
Well, 16 years ago, Stargate SG-1 did Pandemic and no one listened.
Star Trek also did pandemics, but we shouldn't have listened because it was a complete failure in all of Star Trek of pandemic containment protocol.
Well, the point in Stargate was that even doing everything they could, it was hard to contain.
This is another thing they retcon that he can't go through the transporter.
Right.
Yeah, that never shows up again. Thanks.
Transporters, you know? They've changed them a little bit or something.
Dax has no problem whatsoever with the transporter.
Yeah, but the transporter actually knows about the symbiont index. I don't think they know about the symbiont in this trail.
I've
it's
never
gonna
seen
be
a
revealed.
pedicure in Star Trek before.
The astronaut-sized
That was a laser pedicure.
Yeah,
They
it's implied here.
applied color.
Sorry, that they're not members of the Federation, but clearly by Deep Space Nine they are members of the Federation.
Yeah, they are.
And somehow they
Yeah.
didn't know about the Trill symbionts, even though that, like, Emily and all them were part of had, like, joined Starfleet centuries
Red-
ago.
Con.
There's the Bolian barber again.
Yep. Not Mott, though. That's a different
So
Bolian.
this is like the unisex ship salon.
It's a ship salon.
Yeah, we get, I think, 3 or 4 Bolian
Limoncello.
barbers.
that we see.
But the only one we care about, of course, is Mott. Everybody loves Mott.
Should put him in D&D at some point.
Don't give him ideas.
Don't worry, I've got plenty of terrible ideas for D&D. The terrible ideas are the best ones. You think it was a good idea to have a Yu-Gi-Oh duel? Nah.
I've used this line on a girl, I wasn't hitting on her, but I just said like you're glowing. I don't know. For some reason, I don't know what that. I mean, other than having a certain sheen on your face, I don't see how somebody could glow per se. I mean,
Okay.
but apparently, it's
metaphorical.
yeah.
It's metaphorical, yeah, but it refers to having skin that very much stands out, like
It means you're
much
covered
more
in
looks
sweat
much
and you're
more
literally
alive.
shining in the sun.
We call that glistening.
Yes.
But yeah.
Also,
That
I would like
fish-
to point out that in the other shots, the Bully and Barber scissors, we're not getting anywhere near that man's hair.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they're space scissors.
Yeah, they
He's
won't
just
hurt you.
planning his cuts. Measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
Well, they've got to be doing that, for like an hour in the background as they film this whole shot.
Yeah.
He doesn't
He's
have
only
that
got
much
so
hair,
much hair you can cut off.
unless he's.
See, I'd love that. Well, do it again. Cut his hair shorter. Do it again. Cut his hair shorter.
We never see that lady's salon again on TNG.
It's probably just the same thing. The same room that we see everyone else in.
Yeah. Just like the chairs are lower, I mean, Worf never gets a pedicure.
At least Farm have somewhere to go to get his hair cut. Because, Klingons need their hair cut, too. They get so long. So long.
Yeah. And I remember the episode not Parallels, but Night Whispers or something, like when Worf and Riker are being abducted in Troy. But like Worf is scared of the scissors, but the barber is like, Klingons have the most luxurious hair. It can withstand all the elements. I can only imagine.
I was thinking that episode, yeah.
I think you found an episode that I don't actually know the name of.
And as a lover.
Though the
Ugh.
clicks.
Oh my gosh! I just realized that he might have just announced to the captain that he has romantic competition. This
100%.
suddenly turned incredibly awkward for him.
Yeah, and the weird thing is though, her new lover is asking, like, do you think she'd be willing to leave Starfleet for me, even though I met her 3 days ago? Which is like a little bit
That's
creepy.
pretty on
Like,
par
is he-
for Star Trek.
yeah,
Yeah, you can see Picard's angry, upset
Yeah.
a little bit about it.
yeah. Picard says I wouldn't presume to speak for her, which means,
2 romance
Yeah.
episodes in a row.
Which means to him, he has to ask her, and to himself,
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, please, no."
right.
Hey,
So
look at
you're
Jay.
saying
There's Tracy.
Picard.
Bye, Tracy.
So you're saying Picard sabotaged the shuttle.
She's just in
Excellent.
so many background
Eliminate
shots.
the competition.
Yes.
Oh, shuttle's powered by dry ice there.
You just chuck a Wicked Witch in there, throw some water on her, and bam, you've got shuttlecraft fuel.
Hey, Cisco's here.
I'm very concerned about this though, because we saw Tracy walk behind the shuttlecraft carrying a box or something. Is she going to be hurt in the shuttle accident? Is Tracy okay? Or is that Tracy in the background? Is she back on the bridge now? Well, I don't see Tracy now.
The limb of the moon?
The
How do
limb of
moons
the
have
moon.
limbs?
Limb, like I talked about limb darkening earlier, limb just means edge. The edge from your perspective. Not actually return to the shuttle bay, just prepare to return.
Just move the Enterprise closer to the shuttle. Then it's in shields again.
Oh, that ship model looks really familiar. It's not a triangle. It looks very familiar, though.
On the Deep Space Nine episode, there's this from last week. It's kind of similar. The way, oh wait, no, that's coming up, right? Next, oh, never mind. But like the way, this guy just falls over, and then next thing we know, he's dead.
Why didn't the Enterprise fire at the attacking ship?
Yeah, and he also asks to go on a shuttle thing. It's like, oh, never mind, I'll take a shuttle. I know what I'm doing. And then
Okay, that's the Shellyak ship. I was thinking Shellyak, but I thought the Shellyak was much boxier.
It's still ridiculous that he doesn't tell anyone about, like, obviously this has percussions. He should have told them before he came on board. Oh my gosh.
It's a secret.
It's not the same as like having an artificial organ or a head plate.
Proceed.
Okay, yes, it is the Shellyak ship. I just looked it up. 100% the Shellyak.
I want to find out what makes you tick on the inside.
She thinks he has tapeworms, but she doesn't know.
I mean, she's right that he has a parasitic infection. Just not the nature of it.
Yeah, and as someone put it out in the... Sorry, go ahead. In the prior Timothy episode, you know, we need to like learn the value of old age, and here we see the value of where you can be a really great diplomat if you negotiated with people decades ago.
Oh, the parasite suddenly disappeared.
Yeah, the guy from props who was blowing up that bladder just ran out of breath.
I was thinking more if they have it on a wide shot, then it's a lot harder to do the makeup matching to his skin.
Yeah, I was just making a joke.
Yes, I know.
What is it like? They have a list of people who are willing to become symbionts?
Probably
like organ
criminals.
donation.
If you're sentenced to death,
sort of?
you just are kept unconscious until you get a parasite inserted.
This is pre-Recon, I assume.
But the thing is,
You actually have to fight pretty hard to get one of the symbionts because there is not enough symbionts for everyone on
That
trail.
Enterprise in the background looks awful lot like the 2009 one.
It is.
Kind of. The what? 2000 what?
2009 one.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I mean, the same general model as the 2009 Enterprise.
I mean, it's got those divots
So
into
nice of you to offer
the
that.
warp engine, the nacelles.
The same nuclear vessel Enterprise that they used in Star Trek 4. Very similar ship.
Yeah, I've never seen any of them, but I have
should perhaps not
seen some episodes, some shots of Star Trek 2009. Some shots.
What's the prefix for the Enterprise aircraft carrier? I think it has a C and an S in it, but I don't know the...
Oh, it's not just USS?
Yeah, it would be.
I believe it's USS.
It should be the
USS.
CVS?
CVS Enterprise? No, CVS
Yeah,
is
and
Reaper
Enterprise. The one
No,
that's
I'm thinking of a
Reaper
different Enterprise. Never mind.
It's officially known as the Nimitz class aircraft carrier.
Yeah, I think it is just the USS.
No, there is a
Oh,
CV
CVN.
thing.
It's CVN 65.
Ah, so close.
Yeah.
She's not even wearing a mask.
Don't worry, it's the future.
Yeah, there's no
Don't worry, man.
coronavirus in the future.
No.
It's a very similar parasite prop, though, that they use for Jadzia.
I know.
It is far less colorful.
I know when
In Discovery, we did have a human basically taking a Trill host, and that was very controversial.
But
Yeah, but this episode basically is
it's a
after canon.
temporary. Yeah.
This episode doesn't actually exist anymore in Star Trek canon. This didn't happen.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
It's not just going to pop out and do
coming
that.
to Riker. They're giving the symbiont host to Riker, so...
Oh no, so even
And
if it
Riker's
was, this is
gonna be
temporary as
next
opposed to permanent.
Ooh.
Sorry, I was saying... Now Riker is going to be the next symbiont host.
She's not even
They're giving
wearing
that.
gloves.
Yes, she is. Oh, the assistant. No, she's not.
Going again for what?
I guess, like, if she needed to remove the symbiont?
Yeah,
Oh,
probably.
okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably.
Meaning
I don't
aboard
know.
the procedure.
Yeah, they are waiting for a host to come from Trill to replace the Odan guy, which would be the blonde lady.
They really should have the Trill be the. Well, no, they wouldn't be familiar with the human physiology.
What's with the dramatic music? We knew this is how this version of the trill work.
Yeah, this is what was supposed to happen. This is what we were expecting.
Oh my god, what we thought would happen happened? Ah!
I mean, it would be pretty weird to suddenly be hit on by Captain Commander Riker. I know he does it all the time, but not to Beverly.
Yeah, and everyone who says Dr. Beverly, who's not the original actor, kind of creeps me out because it's like, you don't call somebody Pookie Bear just because the prior host was married to them.
I was thinking that this kind of creepy when someone says like Dr. Beverly. That always kind of creeped me out a bit, but I'm alright. Just kind of creeps me out a bit sometimes.
This is interesting. So Commander Riker got a Starfleet badge on, but no uniform on.
Odon had one too. It's just for communication.
Yeah, but for
It's
him,
sort of like the Bajoran uniform.
No. No, that's not Bajoran, I don't think.
Six-tenths of a degree. That's okay. That's normal
Yeah, I was
variation.
gonna say.
yeah, you vary by that in a minute.
I'm kind of used to Riker as commander.
He's like trying to touch her hand, and she's trying to say, "Get away from me."
I mean, it really feels like, I guess Odon, the symbiont, wouldn't feel this way because he's used to it, but it feels like it would be a violation of the host to do this if the host is temporary, which Riker is.
Yeah, like he can hold out for 40 hours.
Like, chill. Just,
I mean,
look.
did
No
you see
matter
the way
how pretty
Odon?
you think Beverly is, leave her alone for like 2 days.
Did you see the way Odon was kissing her? I mean,
Yeah, but this is going to have weird implications for Commander Riker in 2 days, Odon. Leave her alone.
Come to think of it, in the one DS9 episode where they have the sort of ceremony thing where everybody gets to come back as on stage, essentially, and the host. So what's Commander Riker doing right now? He's like backstage, so to speak.
He's backstage.
Now we have 3 Commander Rikers in the galaxy.
He's firstly backstage. And the host has taken over. That's my best description.
Yeah, Stefan is very beautiful. Heather, wait.
The actor's really good in this.
Oh, this is... Okay. I was very confused for a second. No, this is her imagination when she was a kid. She did not, in fact, have 3 children with another guy before Wesley.
Before Wesley?
There we go. In my daydreams, at least. Jesus.
And then he scored the goal, and it was time for lunch, and it never happened.
It's weird seeing Riker as somebody else. I'm kind of used to him seeing as Commander on here.
It's in some ways this is a little bit parallel to like someone that you're married to who gets in a horrible accident, like third-degree burns or something.
The way they did the stomach is literally air bladders in which they blew into.
This
Jonathan
is more
Frakes is
like
acting.
your spouse gets third-degree burns and they get a face transplant from your dead relative.
Yeah, Riker's not
it's
some
more-
alien. I mean, he is right now, but
from your living friend.
But
What
Frakes
happened to the
is-
friend's face?
Frakes is such a
That person,
versatile actor.
Doesn't matter in this scenario.
You believe he's Odin, and I did this for you, I did this for you, and your grandfather was there. He's just alive in the other part.
Does Beverly ever have a healthy relationship on the show? She had a very healthy relationship with Jack Crusher, but then she dates this guy and then the Space Ghost. Was there anyone else?
Picard, kind
there
of.
was Roman.
Picard.
Yeah.
There was this
Coffee
guy
and
Roman.
croissants.
Do we want to mention the novels?
No.
There was this guy Roman. If you ever if you know what I'm talking about, the holodeck character.
Ronan, he was the space ghost
Ronan.
in Sub Rosa.
Yeah, Ronan. He fell in love with Ronan.
Definitely not a
Yeah, but
healthy
he-
relationship with Ronan, the Space Ghost.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, I was
Anybody
gonna
who
say
was
that they broke up.
involved in one of my grandparents, I'm not going to be interested in.
What about someone like when you say involved, do you just mean like was in a relationship with, or does that include possess the corpse of? 'Cause then you definitely did
That
both.
was so over the top.
I don't know.
It's okay though. That wasn't Nana.
Please-
Nana's dead.
Please don't animate my grandmother's corpse.
Don't go to him. Riker
This-
has no control over this situation.
Leave
guy
him
Odan is like-
alone.
You
This guy
think in the-
Odin,
You think backstage Riker and Odin are arguing? No,
It must-
we want chocolate sundaes. Or
Yeah.
do it.
This
Don't
guy
do it.
Odin
Probably the
is-
prosthetics and that were removed for Deep Space Nine because they wanted her to look good.
Then you, Odin, ding, with 25% more processing power.
Okay.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah,
Nice,
sure, you look
luxurious
like one of
hair.
the walkers from Walking Dead.
Is it an insult to them to be on Beta Moon? Who gets Alpha Moon?
Good question.
I don't actually know what those words mean. They're not Greek.
Oh, I recognize that dude's face under all the makeup. Is he the hospital administrator from First Contact? Who is he? Robert Harper.
Don't
Who's
know.
Robert Harper? What does he do?
If he's the hotel manager from Ghostbusters again,
It's not-
can't be him.
No, that's not him.
No,
I'm
that's
talking
not
about the guy who was working the hospital. I don't think that's him though. No, it says this is his only Star Trek role. But it looks so familiar.
All I need to know, I learned from kindergarten.
The beta delegate. Not like the alpha delegate. We don't care about the beta delegate.
nearly as good as the Alpha delegates.
Perhaps he was wiser in his youth than he is now. There's a when Peter no not when when Peter Davison became the Fifth Doctor. I think this was in the Five Doctors or something like that. Yeah, and he got the Fifth Doctor got into an argument with the First Doctor, and then the Fifth Doctor, who's played by a 31-year-old man, was talking about the 70-year-old First Doctor, and he says, "Fortunately, one mellows with age," saying that he himself is cooler than he was before.
Okay. What kind of ships do this species use? These Trill? Do they fly in triangles? I don't think we've seen one of them.
Why not squares?
Well, because triangle is the best kind of ship. The squares are already spoken for by the Borg. They're the only ones who get squares.
Okay. Okay, well, if we want to take the polygon to the nth degree, then we get a circle, which is called a flying saucer, right?
It's a sphere. But the Borg also have like tetrahedrons, which is like two pyramids on top of each other at some point in Voyager.
That's an octahedron.
Yeah, it was there just like once, if I remember correctly.
You mean
Thank you for
a
the
D8?
correction.
The diamond ship.
Yeah, the D8.
I didn't even know it was called an octahedron, but thank you.
The Federation does have some good circles. They love their saucer sections, and they say separate, so you can just have a circle ship.
And the Badgers and the Pips.
No, Badodon.
I saw something interesting from a design perspective. The reason Discovery has that hollowed out saucer section is because there is going to be a lack of windows on that saucer section. So it's much better. Like, nobody wanted to live in medieval castles because most rooms did not have windows.
They wanted more windows on the side. It's quite possibly the reason for it. Another EC Henry video.
I would be much happier.
I sure need for Windows.
Right, but also like the Apple's headquarters spaceship, it has a similar kind of thing. It's a hollowed out cylinder. Just because you want to park in the middle so you could look out at something, you just don't want to be in a giant.
I mean on the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the battle bridge. I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, an office space, you don't really need windows, but if you're gonna have people living on a spaceship, it would be nice for everybody to get a window.
I mean, there's not that much to see out there. You could probably just replace it with a display. Just have
As someone who worked
future screen.
As someone who worked in an office without windows for 7 years, I object to the idea that we don't need windows.
Yeah.
One of the things about you do well. One of the things about psychology is that a casino doesn't have windows because they don't want you to know that time is passing. They just want you to keep rolling the dice because the house always wins.
I work in an office without windows. It's not fun.
Well, we took a family vacation which included Las Vegas. We stayed at one of the big casinos there. There's not a single window around. There's not a single clock around because they don't want you to notice the passing of time.
You really don't, yeah.
I just thought of something as Riker gave a command to the computer. Could he just take over the ship? Does he?
Yeah.
If he has Riker's mind, does he just
No, yeah.
command codes and he has Riker's voice?
Probably.
Well, he should actually has Riker's mind. As seen on DS9, when you're joined as a trail, you have both your memories and the memories of the symbiont, and you kind of join.
Yeah, I really hope they changed all his passwords before they did this.
Not in this episode, though. Riker is just completely taken over, like mind controlled by the parasite.
Do we know for a fact that he doesn't have any of the memories of the host?
I don't think that it's specified here whether they have the previous memories.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that
not
whole
specified.
scene with the
trail
alpha and the
changed
beta
a lot
version.
in DS9.
If sorry to cut someone off, if he did have the memory, one would think he would stop himself from like hitting on Beverly because you would just want to push back against the symbiote. He's clearly
Well,
not pulling
We
the
don't
strings.
know about Riker's memories, but he definitely has the Trill's memories all the time.
Right, now things are going to be awkward on the ship. Nice one, Beverly and Odon.
They're not getting a relationship.
Sometimes you just can't say no to your natural instincts.
They just have
Beverly
to wait 5
likes-
minutes. Literally
Okay,
5
so-
minutes, we'll have another host.
Beverly likes the freaks. What can you say?
I guess Odon is kind of like a space ghost in that he possesses people.
I say these are natural reactions.
Do you need a hypo spray?
It's natural reactions you have to. It's hard, but you have to resist.
What about Riker's wishes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riker doesn't want to die, presumably.
We don't talk about that guy right now.
I mean, Odon's thinking about Riker a little bit at least. So that's
But-
nice.
I mean, I love the parasite and everything, but like it's an unacceptable risk for one of your officers to take on an alien parasite that you know nothing about.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is reckless.
Yeah, it's a huge risk, but Riker volunteered, so.
He did volunteer.
Yeah, but even letting your first officer volunteer for such a thing is pretty crazy. And also because they mentioned this in the episode, anytime you have a kind of donor implant, the risk of rejection is extraordinarily high. I mean, maybe they overcame it, but she does mention here, talking about this medicine, he could have died from this.
Yeah, but I'm sure that when he was making that decision at the table, that he was keeping that in mind. That he said this mission is that important.
True. He did do it for the mission for the Starfleet thing, but just for Picard to allow it on my end is kind of there should have been.
I mean, it really
Pretty
shouldn't
scary.
be necessary because they're doing the thing that a lot of Star Trek species do, where no, we'll only talk to this one ambassador, nobody else.
Yeah.
Just talk to someone else. It's fine.
Yeah, Riva had that problem.
We live our stuff.
Right, 9 hours. You could go to meet them. You could fly in that direction.
Yeah,
Maybe put them in a
rendezvous.
shuttle. Do something. No, just gonna hang out. It's cool.
It was worth it.
Jonathan Frakes is just showing off his acting chops.
Maybe some sort of
Like
stasis.
falling?
Same thing that happened to that other symbiont. This host is not gonna last long.
Okay, so Picard is actually going to intercept. He's not just gonna sit there and wait for them to get there. Thankfully.
Yeah, he is.
They should have started doing that earlier than now, though.
Usually want to leave the planet with the representatives on board.
Oh, they didn't finish the talk. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
they just finished. And they didn't want to conduct diplomacy over Zoom, I guess.
I'm not a cat.
Because Zoom's bad, that's why.
This is kind of like, looking at the trill there in the dish or chamber. It's kind of like a sci-fi movie where you remove somebody's brain and do a full brain transplant. or just remove the brain and just have it outside the body for the
It
rest of
does
the
look
movie.
a lot like a brain.
Yeah, and by the way, we were making fun of the horror music before, but that's why there would be horror music, because it's like there's something horrific going on, either like the parasite from aliens in his stomach, or here we have like a brain transplant, basically.
This thing coming out of the body that you saw is kind of like the brain, or it is the brain.
Functionally, it is the brain of that individual.
Yeah.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, see that thing coming out?
The way she's
I am
talking, it
comprised
kind
of
of
a
sounds like
series
she's
of
in the
Triangle,
bottom.
triangle, triangle.
Triangle. The Trill use triangles. It's canon. Wait.
It's canon for the next, 10 minutes?
For the next 2 minutes.
Oh.
So yeah, this is the final bit of the episode that's sort of like, can he stay in a relationship with someone if they come out as transgender and transition to the other?
They try their best.
It doesn't work. But in this Discord,
the
somebody
weird Starfleet medical symbol.
that's a Hermes logo, which is ancient symbol of medicine. But in the somebody posted Terry Farrell with those head ridges that they tried for like season 1 of Deep Space Nine or the premiere,
Right.
and they were just like, forget about it.
Yeah, spots are better.
It was the Paramount producers who wanted to not have it.
Let me go ahead and look up Jadzia Dax's makeup test.
Retconned.
It's in the trail or memory alpha.
Yeah, I have the picture. Yeah, Beverly isn't able to cope with this.
Yeah, it's I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry to cut you off. The funny thing is, though, we have a Deep Space Nine episode with the opposite plot of where the Trill have a societal taboo against finding your ex-lovers and trying to create a new relationship out of them.
Complete retcon. This episode does not exist.
So, I mean, this is strictly forbidden, what she's doing. But I guess Odon just couldn't help himself. Keeps coming back. Like a bad guy in a horror movie.
There's also a matter of when you get into a relationship, when you enter a relationship with another person, part of what they look like physically, part of their particular height, their particular body build, their particular facial features, that's like it or not, that is part of what you fall in love with, because in a sense that is a part of their identity. And that's the card at play here too, I think.
I think that's a lot of why that. Oh, go on.
For a romance as young as Beverly's and Odon's, and I mean the length of time they've been together, I would say yes, that's absolutely true. But I do know people who have been in marriages and one of their partners transitioned, and the marriage has survived. It was not even difficult for them to make that decision.
Yeah, I knew someone. Someone I knew from college did that. Yeah.
Also, this is what Jadzia looked like with the original makeup. She has the slight ridges, but no spots.
Yeah, the ridges are way less pronounced, and there's no connection between the nose and the lip.
Yeah.
Why did they not have spots then either?
Because Odon didn't have spots.
But, okay, then the next obvious question is, why does Jadzia have spots then later?
Because they actually wanted Jadzia to look great, and she looks great with spots. So
because she looks pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, the episode of TNG with Famke Janssen, The Perfect Mate, it's literally the exact same spots, and they chose that because they cast a beautiful woman, and Rick Berman, like he always does, says we have a pretty woman, let's not make her ugly, by putting stuff on her forehead. So when they had a makeup that worked, they just said, let's just reuse that.
Yeah, here's a picture of the lady
Okay.
from that episode, and she has the same spot pattern.
Sort of, but Jadzia's goes down her neck, right?
They do go down that actress's neck too. It's just not
It's just the
visible in
angle.
that photo.
Yeah, the next episode is The Mind's Eye. Everybody be queued up. 1 minute timer. I'll
Yep.
adjust the title here.
Yeah, unfortunately it's quite late where I'm right now, so I won't be joining the last episode. You guys have fun. It was nice, and I guess I will see you next time.
Okay.
Welcome.
Okay.
Nice having
Here
you.
every Saturday and every Sunday.
Take care.
Yeah.
Nice seeing you.
Thanks for your input.
Nice seeing you. We'll see you maybe next week. Nice having you.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know if I'll be joining GS9 tomorrow. I've seen it quite recently. I'll see. Yeah. So, goodbye.
Goodbye.
See you.
Goodbye.
The summary
Be gone.
from Netflix says be gone. Summary from Netflix says LaForge is brainwashed by the Romulans in order to assassinate a Klingon ambassador.
Yeah.
You just gave away the whole plot.
Everybody press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Just in case there's anybody watching the
I told
stream,
you.
content warning, there is literally torture in this episode.
Just a little bit of torture.
A light
It's not even
torture,
graphic
wasn't it?
torture. We don't even get to see the torture.
Also,
It's
I
just
mean,
brainwashing.
yeah,
torture.
he's also- he's
Brainwashing's
yelling.
brainwashing should have a content warning too.
Is this the first mention of Risa?
No.
No, Picard has Captain's Holiday last season,
Yeah, he
but-
went to vacation there and met
Yeah.
Frosh.
but
He had his great day out.
the data even says brainwash in this episode. I think he says like it was erroneously called brainwashing because he
Yes.
thinks that it has to do with
Referred to
literally
historically
brainwashing.
and somewhat inaccurately as brainwashing.
The computer just said that the entire planet is climate controlled.
It is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes,
They sure
Ryza
fixed
has.
their global warming, didn't they?
Yes, Ryza has a global temperature system that keeps it perfect at all times.
Unless
The
you have a
episode where
Klingon
Worf becomes a
terrorist.
domestic terrorist. It turns out that Ryza is actually basically like Ferenginar. It's raining
The-
constantly. It's cold.
They're the essentialists. They're more like QAnon, but anyway.
They're definitely
So this
domestic
game that-
terrorists.
This game that Geordi is playing here with the computer, this is exactly what we can do now with Alexa.
Yeah, yeah.
When you
Like,
ask her to
true.
play
I can
Jeopardy or
even do it with mine. Yeah.
Yeah, Alexa lets you do Jeopardy too, which is pretty great.
All right, if you guys for me could
And
list the
doodle
4
on your
quantum
phone.
numbers of a fundamental particle in alphabetical order.
Spin, charm.
That's not alphabetical. Also, that's wrong.
PQR.
No, the quantum numbers. I need to look it up to get them in alphabetical.
And
Angular
that's a
momentum,
Starbucks.
energy, magnetic moment, and spin. Yeah,
Surprise.
the Roman and ships aren't that great. They're not nearly triangular enough. They're okay, but I mean, they're not like trail ships or pack-led ships.
They're pretty triangular if you look at them top down. I actually had the old Playmates toy when I was a kid of the Romulan Warbird.
Okay.
The back half is definitely very triangular.
they took Geordi, but they didn't take his drink with him.
Monsters.
How rude.
How dare they?
I guess they didn't care about the drink. They didn't even care about him.
Oh, you know what? When I first got my smart speakers a few years ago, I looked on YouTube or wherever, and I found out that you can actually use them to play chess. You can actually tell it, I move this piece from this square letter to this numbered letter square.
Come on, to play
And
chess.
and they'll play along with you. And then I tried having them play against each other. I think the
Yeah.
voice is conflicted and it didn't really work out, but with headphones or something, it's totally doable, I think.
Like you can tell the computer to play chess. See,
Yeah, I think he had 2 electronic chessboards and he had them both playing against each other.
say that.
Thank you for playing.
That's what happens when I
Others'
say that word.
skills.
That's why I can't
Please consider
I can't
leaving
say that word out loud,
See you
or else
later.
it's going to pick it up. See, that's why I tell you I have it set up so it recognizes that word. So yeah.
Yeah. It catches me saying that so often lately now, especially since I'm now in vintage computing hobbying, that I'm considering changing the wake word.
Yeah, I thought about that too,
and
but
our phones are also listening all the time. If you just say "Hey Siri" or "Okay Google," they wake up also.
Millennium
On
Falcon
Android,
had way more.
I think Google only works when you've got the phone unlocked.
It's kind of the same situation Fiddle was telling me about, right? Right, Fiddle?
Yeah.
Oh, John Fleck. Yeah. John Fleck's in this episode. Right, he's the Romulan dude that does the brainwashing. He's also Silic from Enterprise. And he's a bunch of other minor roles.
He shows up as a Romulan in DS9 as well.
He plays a member of the Tal Shiar there, I think.
The head of the Tal Shiar, in fact.
The head of
yes.
the Tal Shiar.
I forget the character's name.
Nobody look it up. Nobody look it up. We can get this by memory. Kaval.
Yep, that's it.
This episode has
Nora syndrome.
No, Kalinora is the thing from the duet episode, rather, in Deep Space Nine.
Okay. He has some kind of illness that they're trying to determine.
Yeah, he's trying to get Bashir to diagnose him with some neurodegenerative disorder.
Tuvan syndrome, that's what it was called, according to Memory Alpha. John Fleck also plays an antagonist on the Orville. He plays one of the albino, sort of Jem'Hadar looking guys.
I like that one actor that plays the helmsman of the ship. His name is Scott Grimes. Yeah, his name is Scott Grimes. He's a senior. I've seen him on some show, some TV series. That's how I know
Viewer
him.
discretion is advised.
There's John. Hey, John, what's up? Also, the lady that's all silhouetted in black, so you can't see that it's clearly just Tasha.
Also,
actually, at this point, I don't think they had Denise Crosby in there. I think
they didn't. The actress was lit up. It wasn't Denise.
It's like CSI right here.
I mean,
also,
go
ahead.
It's not Denise, but it's definitely Tasha.
Whoa.
Troy has a similar episode, right, where she's just converted to a Romulan and she's going to be a spy against her will.
Oh, that's not okay. I thought they cloned him or something. That's just a
No,
lookalike.
that was just a Romulan dressed up as Geordi with his pointy ears. And nobody's going to notice that he's not a human. Yeah, not Denise, but it is Tasha, or whatever her name is. Tasha too. Sela.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't actually see the torture here. It's just Geordi yelling into the room. We don't get to see the images.
This exact thing happened in Generations.
The torture.
Right?
Yeah, we still see Geordi suffering. I mean, practically it's the same thing that we see in Chain of Command. I mean, Picard is just yelling, but
yeah,
it's the same portrayal.
I mean, we can't exactly be pulling off his fingernails because I mean, he has to look normal when he gets back.
Yeah, this does look painful though.
And it's not like
I want to do that.
And it's not like a sighted person where you can just close your eyes either.
It's very unpleasant.
Yeah.
What's it feel like anyway?
Blue sky.
I mean, I know it has something to do with the visual, but that has to cause you like all kinds of headaches
Yeah.
and probably some vision problems.
I'm not entirely clear how this is supposed to work, like psychologically. Just showing
Pain
him
in the
very
back of
upsetting
your eye.
images makes him.
Pain in the back of
That's
your
Denise's
eyes,
voice.
I would imagine, too.
It's a little bit like, sorry to speak over you, Kevin, but like a Clockwork Orange, where at the end they just like keep his eyelids open and make him watch stuff to like brainwash him against his psychological condition.
Motion detected
I
at the
found
back door.
it would like cause you headaches and possibly the pain in the back of your eyes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
For sure,
why would we not be using Denise Crosby as the actor here? Because it's Denise's voice. They already have.
I was
her.
about to ask that. I'm like, wait, that sounded like her voice.
Are we sure that's not
Foreshadowing.
Denise?
Oh, it's definitely
No,
not.
the actor is definitely not Denise.
It could be a different actress, and they're just overdubbing because
Yeah, they're
that.
just ADRing.
They do overdubbing
couldn't-
for everything.
She
I
couldn't
guess
come in for the
Denise was
shoot that
busy.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she just like emailed them a voice file.
I mean, if they're really thinking ahead, it could just be to surprise the audience.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
but you would want her in a silhouette at least, like Ryan is saying. But yeah, I guess it was a scheduling thing, and they do dub over most TV shows after the fact, so they just picked a mutually convenient time
Including
for her.
an entire episode where one of the main characters was 100% overdubbed. Ensigns of Command with not Trevian, I don't know his name.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The guy who was yelling about his grandfather being buried on the mountain and didn't want to evacuate. Completely overdubbed the entire episode.
That's hilarious.
Actually, I'm on the ammo page now.
This guy's a pretty cool Klingon. He seems on the up and up.
All right.
He'd never do anything bad.
He's so friendly.
Yeah, he's the least grating Klingon that I think we ever meet. Besides
Yeah.
Worf.
And like he sits at a table and
Martok.
eats with a fork and knife. Like he's pretty.
Like a Romulan. I mean, he seems fairly sincere there, so I'm not totally clear on what his motives were for helping the Romulans. Not that we know that he's doing that yet.
They want to blame the Federation for arming the rebels on that planet, and that's why they have to like smuggle weapons and make it look like the Federation gave it, so that the
Yeah,
Federation is working with the Romulans.
The Romulans want to break up the Federation Klingon alliance, but I guess that guy just wants to break up the alliance just because he doesn't like the humans. He's big on... And he's willing to work with the Romulans to do it, even though he hates the Romulans too.
O'Brien must suffer.
Yeah, basically.
Kill O'Brien, kill O'Brien. Shoot him.
I have a question about why do they call it 10 forward?
Because it's on the forward section of deck 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always wondered that too until I had to look it up in a technical
I
manual.
always wondered that too. Okay, that got my question answered. Okay.
Why don't we call the bridge one top?
Yeah.
One forward, or yeah, one centered.
You can't deny John. Shoot him. John asked you to shoot
but-
O'Brien. You have to do it.
Most military cafeterias are called the mess hall, and I think the officers are just called an officer hall or something like that. But the mess hall is for non-commissioned officers, the grunts, for lack of a better term.
So it's 10 forward.
More like a bar than a mess hall, though.
Is it 10 forward up or 10 forward down?
You move
It's
this
sort
out
of
of the
in
way.
the
There we
middle
go.
of the saucer. Well, no, hang on. Let me get a picture.
And 10 forward's in the very front of the ship.
It's in the very
Yeah.
front, and I think it's actually on the bottom side of the saucer.
Yeah, it's on the bottom curve because the windows curve upwards.
Okay.
How many
yeah.
decks are in this? How many decks are in the saucer?
Depends which episode and movie you're watching.
Ah,
There's either
Like,
4 or like 80.
inconsistencies. Onizuka.
The Enterprise E specifically has issues with its deck count, where it just changes.
Wait. Jordy's back already.
Wait. That is LeVar now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the way.
Done.
I guess they did more surgery. Did they do more surgery on the guy after he took the visor?
No, fake LeVar, fake Geordi went to Ryza so that they would see him at the conference.
Right.
And
So
they
he
sent
didn't
him
look much
back
like,
to the Enterprise.
but it didn't look
They
much
showed
like
him the
him.
conference after all of the
Like
torture
the
stuff.
double was not nearly this convincing.
Yeah, because the Romulans suck at disguising people.
If there was nobody there who knew him personally, then it certainly might pass.
Yeah.
Unless, well,
No, this is
whatever.
real Geordi. This is the actual guy.
Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And they implanted memories of being on Ryza.
So that was a conference or something that was on Rysa.
Yeah, some kind of engineering.
That's certainly a thing that happens.
He wasn't going on vacation. So that's like if you work for an automotive company and they send you to Hawaii for training.
I mean, I had a friend whose dad was a doctor, and you know the pharmaceutical companies they
Oh my God, that's
fly you
clearly
out
just a
for a
bathrobe.
medical conference, and you know you get to, and then my friend's dad took me and him to an Allman Brothers concert because like you could do whatever you want once you're in New York, but like you know what, like in other words, it's an under the table subsidy that companies give to doctors. That like, hey, come out for a conference. We'll give you free pens, and we'll give you some literature about our new drug. But meanwhile, it's going to be a 3-day conference. Go see a Broadway show while you're at it, and here's your hotel room.
That
money.
that episode of DS9 where Sloane is introduced and Bashir is interrogated for being a spy. At the very start, they're talking about how Bashir is going to a medical conference, and Garrick's like, why do you get to go to a medical conference in this like vacation planet? It's like, well, I mean, our job is so stressful, we deserve it. So we just go somewhere else to have our conference.
That's nice. Yeah, my friend's dad was talking about how he got a duck from Chinatown roasted for $5. He's like, where am I going to get a duck for $5?
Why would you want a duck? Why a duck?
Chicken, they're cheap.
Yeah, but it's pretty famous, right? The roasted Chinese duck, like they really caramelize the skin and like dry it out.
I've never eaten duck, but I do know you can get a full rotisserie chicken for
Oh,
$2.
that's really nice. You should have it with the wrap. It's good.
I love duck
Chinese
so much.
I've almost never had duck, but there is no white meat on duck. It's all dark. I know
Duck curry
I didn't
is
know that.
amazing.
God, now that I'm looking at it, I can't get over the fact that this ambassador is clearly wearing an off-the-shelf bathrobe. They put some, like, sashes and stuff over the top, but it's so fluffy and warm.
They spent all the money on Loaxana's outfit last episode.
That's a gun. You just pointed at someone and you pull the trigger and it
Phaser.
shoots.
It's a phaser rifle.
Yeah. Federation phaser rifle. That the rebels.
Yeah. He sets up a trick question for Riker here. It's like, well, we don't restrict we found your medical supplies with the rebels. And he's like, well, we don't restrict our medical supplies. It's like, well, what about your weapons? And it's like, why didn't you just ask about the weapons? Why would you even bring up the medical supplies?
Because they're mad about the medical supplies as well.
Further evidence.
Yes.
I mean,
Sounds
Picard
like,
is saying this.
potato chips.
It's like, oh yeah, we're totally allies. We're not going to worry about a war. They're going to go to war in like 2 years.
Done.
Yeah,
like,
and
more like 4.
I think it's in the Deep Space Nine episode for tomorrow, but the Klingons really want a certain sector. So it's kind of implied like there's always been a wish by some reactionary Klingons to regain certain sectors of Federation space that they renounced like 100 years ago.
Someone's just joined. If you're in the stream, hello, Tohu or Toyhu.
Hi, Gregor.
Boy, Hugh?
Oh yeah. Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yes, wonderfully.
Wonderful.
Hello,
I
hello.
just dropped in like 2 minutes after the episode started, so I didn't want to interrupt you, I guess. But this is the first
No,
time
it's fine.
I'm joining the voice chat. I discovered the stream like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this time I thought I might join.
Okay. Hi, Greg.
Welcome.
This is
have you
a
ever
much
been
more reasonable warp speed.
Yeah, that rate of warp reaction is pretty good.
I might as well go back to Riser for another week. You're funny, Geordi. You never went.
Does he get
actually know
another
this time.
vacation after this to compensate for the fact he didn't get one in the first place?
Yeah.
Need a vacation.
Yes, one would expect so.
Is he just
Considering
like-
it was the exact opposite of a vacation.
Red Torian. What's a Red Torian that he ordered?
It's a space
That
drink.
drink.
Well, it's red for sure.
That's a slight
has
hint
the
that he's
frosted
got
glass.
it for Geordi.
Now he's like a Terminator closing in on his kill.
Yeah, Predator.
He spilled a red Torian.
You know, in Predator versus Alien, he's a predator. Or
They're
That's
testing
gonna
it.
stain. The Romulans are taking a cue from Ensign Sonia Gomez with the captain.
By the way,
Yeah,
O'Brien takes
the one where she spills cocoa.
Yep.
O'Brien takes abuse here. Like, if you spill a drink on me,
First day 1, you're spilling drinks. By day 5, you're shooting phasers. Oh, there we
That was
go.
his bad shoulder chew.
They allow him to do this.
Yes, right next to the warp core.
Pew pew.
It's okay, it's
And
facing
the
away from
Romulans
the
allow
warp
him to
core.
find them out. The Romulans allow him to test the gun and then find that the gun is Romulan. I mean, it's unlikely they would have without data, but to be honest, but still.
I guess the question is just, like, is there anything they could even do about it? Other than try to make him fake the results, but data's there, so it's not...
Hmm.
And I mean, from the Klingons' perspective, there's nothing to rule out the Federation and the Romulans working together to assassinate the Chancellor, or whoever he is. Not the Chancellor, that's Gowron. Who is he? Governor.
Why are
That
they
Klingon-
Romulans
criticizing
are
a
better at
phaser
making
that-
batteries, apparently.
Yeah, why are they criticizing a phaser that works better?
Because it doesn't meet
Because they
standard
can't do it.
specifications.
I guess it reduces the battery life, right?
I get that they don't want to use another set, but there's no way you would do this in the warp room.
Why not?
Yeah, and there's no way that you would have a 10-foot wide area there where somebody could just walk in and get skewered.
In the
Not
episode
just
of
serious
Enterprise where they're
cutting
testing
off.
one of the Zindi weapons, they specifically go to an empty room, there's no components in it, they set up a force field and actual test firing range. Nah, here we just fire it right next to the warp core, it's fine, don't worry about it.
The warp core has a shield around it. Yeah.
I mean, there was that one scene from season 1 where a guy was holding a phaser to the warp core and threatening to blow up the whole ship.
Okay. True.
Well, that would work, right?
Should. Unless they added the shield to the warp core after that. They might
It's
have done.
possible that they did to prevent it in future.
It's like, yeah, this is a stupid idea. Why is the warp core so vulnerable?
But it's supposed to have a shield around it because there's a antimatter containment. So you shouldn't be able to.
Yeah. We already have the cargo bay set for this episode. Why don't we just use the cargo bay?
That would have been a better idea.
Much better idea.
They probably wanted an engineering type set, though.
They need
For
to
some
plug it into
reason.
the computer, I guess. And there's no good computers in the cargo bay.
Well, there is no internet in Star Trek, so
Yeah.
Science Station 1.
then
I
again, the
always
computer
wanted
is
this.
connected across the ship.
What do you, it
I
can
always
totally be
wanted
a
to sit
protostar
at
for
one-
change intensity. Protostars are sort of by definition completely changing. That's their whole thing.
Transient.
Not on any. Well, not in a few minutes though.
I always wanted to sit at one of these stations here on the back of the bridge. Just play with
The way
computer.
Daisy gets a chair there, but Worf never does.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't show the chairs when it's a bridge shot.
You know what? Can I tell you this? A couple years ago, we took a family trip to Las Vegas. We went to the Star Trek experience, and then we were on the Enterprise. And then
I went there.
And then we saw the actual bridge that they used on the set. I mean, it wasn't the exact same, but it still looked a lot like the same bridge that they used on the set.
Yeah, it was a recreation, and they had Quark's bar there too.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we also saw that and checked that out. I actually ate there too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was just a restaurant called Quark's Bar. It wasn't a recreation of.
yeah. Our waitress called herself our ambassador. And
Yeah, it wasn't a recreation of that, but still.
Las Vegas is the Star Trek capital of the world. Believe it or not.
Could be kind of cool if that was recreated, but
In the 60s and 70s, Berkeley, California had Star Trek stores for like shops and stuff because like all the hippies were really into the sci-fi, psychedelic, futuristic theology.
So they were just stalking the Enterprise? That doesn't seem very friendly of them. Cruiser and two birds. Okay.
Those are the motion picture birds of prey. Well, all of the TOS era film bird of prey.
Same one they land in the park
Yes.
and go attack a whaling ship. Let's see, who is capable? Geordi? Data? I think they say O'Brien later, but why is O'Brien capable of this? I guess because he has the
Because he
transporter
knows the
key.
systems inside and out.
Right. Yeah, I think
All
we
transporter
access
systems.
But also, it was like who was in the room, and then Geordi says I was home alone, and nobody thinks anything strange of that. Or I was in my quarters.
Because he's
by myself.
Geordi.
And
You don't suspect Geordi.
everybody else has an alibi, and he's the one. I was at home.
It's like if you weren't going to believe that anyone you asked would be a suspect, why did you even bother to ask?
Yeah, good investigation.
Well, if you're looking for transporters, have you looked at the shuttlecraft transporters? The cargo bay transporters? Have you checked all the transporters or just the transporter rooms?
That one's pink. That's not replicator.
Trace it.
Oh, it's not in the saucer section.
Yeah, this would
Hey,
be
wait a
a
minute.
much better place to test a weapon. Unless
Yeah.
those barrels are all full of like highly explosive
yeah.
material that can't be moved. Still probably better than the warp core, though. Lieutenant Costa. It must have been Lieutenant Costa. That's like going with the... This away team will consist of Captain Kirk, Lieutenant Spock, and Ensign Ricky. It must have been Costa.
Hey, Ricky, you're so fine.
All the 20 witnesses are in on it.
No, it's a hologram.
Yeah, Worf is like, if it wasn't the four of you, somebody must not be what they seem to be.
That's clearly a miniature shot there. I went a bit too close up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see the black paint.
I mean, what's wrong with seeing the paint? The Enterprise is painted.
Yeah,
somebody
that's not
can, eh?
space paint.
It
You
has
can see
space
it's
paint.
plastic.
You can tell somebody was right there.
Okay. Give me a second. I need to look up Klingon bathrobe and see if I just find this guy's stuff. Klingon bathrobe. What the heck is this? No, I didn't.
If you
not kimono bathrobe. I don't want kimono bathrobe.
if
I want
you type
Klingon
king size, if you size king size like woolen bathrobe, that would probably come up.
Well, this is just offensive. I looked up Klingon bathrobe and it came up with a Jedi costume. That's not Star Trek.
Of course. No, but it's
Crude.
more bathroom-like than anything, more bathrobe-like than anything in Star Trek.
It does look like a fairly good costume, though. At least in the colors. The material is probably pretty bad. Yeah, Governor Vogt seems like a reasonable man. Does this guy have any other roles in Star Trek? His name is Lawrence Dobkin. Lawrence Dobkin, IMDb. I don't recognize him.
Calamari.
The unhatched eggs of a large scaleless. Thank you, Data. No more Star Trek roles. This is it. Oh, he brought his own cup from the service. Not a standard Federation cup.
And then we get
What
to
if it wasn't LaForge, though? What if someone else was at the door?
No, he called him, so that's why he came in.
And someone else can visit.
I mean, somebody said TOS was camp in like the prior episode today.
It was very
I was
camp.
like, this is pretty camp. The guy's eating, and he's like, "You're gonna kill."
But why would Starfleet openly admit to that? Anyone they employ to do it?
I'm hungry.
Do you want to go eat some octopus legs or tentacles? They don't have legs.
We talked about astronaut ice cream, roasted duck. Kevin had lunch, and this Klingon guy is stuffing his face. So we've been talking about food nonstop for like 3 episodes.
Doesn't sound very good than I have here. I have pizza.
Why are Geordi's LEDs still flashing when he doesn't have the thing on? Is that indicate they're in like Bluetooth mode?
Yeah, they're ready to pair.
Looks tasty, Kevin.
Yes, of course, Bluetooth mode.
Yeah, thank you.
It's red when it's not paired.
I mean, usually when something's in paired mode, it flashes red, blue, but I guess they changed that in the future.
That's before they reinvented blue LED.
Yeah, that's a good point. They didn't have all the LED colors back then.
Yeah.
No, there are all.
After Ryan mentioned that, I keep on saying it.
Yeah, LED wasn't invented as a color until 2003.
1993.
We're in 93 now. I mean,
Well, yeah, but I mean that's when it was first announced. Like, hey, we finally did it.
oh, okay, meaning like a cutting edge science corporation.
Yeah. And then a few years, as in the first demonstratable one ever. And then, naturally, a few years later, now you start getting color LED screens because now you can do red, green, blue, and white. Because obviously that's a component of white color too, and light.
The
Just
first
wait up.
LEDs.
Lights always light up.
Sorry, could you please repeat that, Kevin?
Yeah, I was saying that. The lights between Jordy's eyes always light up. That's supposed to connect to the visor.
Right.
And I think they work the same way as Bluetooth. Well, you know what?
Or maybe,
I think it's waiting for a connection. That's fine.
or
That's
maybe
right.
it's supposed to be like fiber optic or something. Like that's sort of what it looks like if you have
Thought it was Tracy.
a
She's
digital
wearing a
audio
different
cable.
color. She's wearing a different color today.
She's the Romulans' backup.
Lieutenant, no, don't you dare accuse Tracy of working with the Romulans. Tracy is a loyal officer.
I mean, she's on the Enterprise E too.
Tracy is the best of us.
She's the best unsung hero.
I've mentioned it so many times before, but I finally gave the link in the chat to the video, not the chat, the
Red LEDs.
Discord to the blue LED invention.
Okay.
I was wondering when we had LED. I found it was like back in 2010 or 2008, I should say.
So
we started having LEDs.
yeah, I remember the first LEDs were the little black lines on a calculator. You know, and that they would just
You're confusing it with
LCDs.
LCD.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Liquid crystal display, liquid
Yeah.
electronic display. Thank you. Yeah.
No, light emitting diode.
Thank you.
Does Geordi's visor have a battery built into it, or does it like draw energy from Geordi, so he has to eat an extra few thousand calories a day? How is that
Interesting.
powered?
Interesting idea.
I was just thinking of it like, how are the LEDs powered? But no, how is the entire thing powered? How does that work? I guess they have a tiny little super power source.
Yeah.
Tiny little warp core in that thing.
It's the littlest
You
phaser.
occasionally load it with antimatter. It has to refuel.
Baby's that's first called a hand phaser, apparently.
Also, so everybody always says Starfleet uniforms do not have pockets. We're going to prove in a few minutes that Geordi's uniform has a pocket on the pants.
It does. But I was confused by the hand phaser too, because hand phasers. But this is like a little remote control, smaller than your palm. That
Yeah,
Geordi
it's like a
uses
season
to-
1 phaser.
It's like a key fob.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
size.
And we never see it again. But I thought it was redundant for him to say hand phaser, but he knew he was
As
specifically giving
opposed
him-
to the ship's phaser, what else is he going to use? Like a phaser
Yeah.
rifle, maybe?
Right, a shoulder phaser, right? Shit. Excuse me.
That does sort of beg the question of why are only pistols called handguns? Surely you hold a rifle with your hands.
Right, and interestingly, a
Maybe because
shotgun.
you use both hands the rifle? I don't know.
Handgun is in handgun
Yeah.
is in single hand.
Yeah, and a shotgun is distinctly not a handgun because you can't conceal it as easily.
Yeah.
You could hold it with one hand, though.
Odd lens there for the camera.
Yeah, it's like
'Cause
a
it's
fisheye
spooky.
almost, right?
Yeah, it's disorienting on purpose.
Because he's brainwashed like a fish.
Can we scan for this every time a shuttle enters the bay? It just figured it out instantly.
Yeah.
But if Picard wasn't in this room, we would have had an intergalactic incident because that governor would be so dead.
You know how Geordi should have assassinated him? If you get the wide shot of the governor standing there, there were a whole bunch of barrels lined up above him.
The Bane is going on.
No one would suspect a thing. Oh, here's the pocket.
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 Pocket!
Pocket.
Pocket sand!
I need to make a video
what-
about pockets.
What are those symbols there in the center bottom of the visor vision?
Those are the subtitles. They tell you what people are saying on the stream if you're not.
These are like foreign letters, like Chinese letters.
Yeah, just some kind of Romulan writing.
Look, back in back in the day, VHS always had like the time code in the bottom right or stuff. You know, so when you used your own family camcorder, that's what's going on.
Data's always the best detective, it seems.
Look at those barrels. Look at those.
Yeah, Worf's even right
Worf is
next
next
to
to
him.
them, making sure they're secure. I like also how LaForge's desire to make sure the phase transition coils are set up right overrides the Romulan brainwashing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta
and
get an engineer.
I like how Worf gets a lot of abuse from Klingons in this episode, but he's the one who basically saves it. Like, your name is not even spoken of on
I mean,
Kronos.
he tries. He doesn't really. I don't know if I would say that Worf succeeds with this. He could just like
He
walk
succeeds in
around
creating a
them and it tries to
distraction.
force his way through and messes with the bodyguards.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bodyguards stop him because they don't trust him for being a traitor. Or either that or the bodyguards are in on it, which could also be.
There we go.
Nice
We
save,
saved it.
Picard.
We did it.
He's about to fry that governor.
Come on, Worf, give him the stink eye. No. Okay, fine.
So a brainwashed assassin isn't going to say anything after the plot is foiled?
Well, what's he gonna do? He doesn't have a hand phaser anymore.
He just has
It's not like he's the real villain to say, okay, darn, you got me.
Yeah, I would have gotten away with it. It wasn't for you meddling kids.
So there's one bit in this scene we're about to get to that I love. When they list the people it could have been, and they say Captain Picard first, and then they say the second person, and there's zero doubt in anyone's minds who it was. It's like nobody ever believes that could possibly be Captain Picard. And somewhat inaccurately, as brainwashing.
Always the literalist.
Don't wash your brain. Don't introduce like any water or soap there. That's not supposed to be there. Just leave it. It's fine. Don't need to wash it.
It washes itself.
Kind of looks like Ambassador Kell is supposed to have horns coming out of his head, like a Zabrak. Yeah, just watch the governor's face when they list out the possible suspects. Yes, get to it, Data. Just, nope. Immediately Ambassador Kell. Don't care about Picard at all.
There's no place on Picard's uniform to hide it.
And
No, what do you mean? He
the
has
ambassador,
pockets. We just established this.
the ambassador begs here to be like, "Oh, you're not going to search me." And then when the Klingons arrest him, like, "Oh, I need asylum," and
Doesn't even want to search the captain. Is that Klingon bodyguard on the left? Is he a regular? He looks familiar too, but I don't... He isn't listed on the Amazon X-ray.
and Picard has the best way to shut him down. It's like, "I'll give you asylum once you're cleared of the crime," and it's like, you know, he's going to be.
Trusting the Klingon justice system is maybe not the best idea, but
He's interned at Rura Penthe right now as we speak.
So this was all written by John Fleck. All these memories. So that means the Romulans created and implanted a memory of Geordi getting into a short relationship, shall we say, on Risa. They made up all the details of that.
You don't need to.
The imposter got into that relationship.
Yeah, perhaps they had the imposter double go through the relationship and have all that actual experience and record it with the fake visor.
Good. Maybe.
Also,
Why
you
didn't
don't
he just
need
get
an
him?
advisor or whatever to do that. If you're good at lucid dreaming, you can do that yourself in real life.
Yeah,
By a
and
long
why
time,
didn't they
Troy,
just
of course, means 20 seconds until the episode is over.
why didn't they just intercept him after he came back from Rise?
Because they needed the time
They
that he
needed
was
the
supposed
time?
to be on Risa to do the brainwashing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, he would have been out of sync with the time.
All right. I don't realize how long brainwashing takes. Okay.
It takes about 5 minutes apparently, but presumably it's supposed to be longer.
They just open you up,
Yeah,
put some soap in there, and it's all done.
Longer. Like he
Is
should
it
have been.
enter-
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry. Go ahead.
He should have been there longer. You know,
Yeah.
if he weren't being brainwashed.
Is it Enterprise or TOS or what? Where the Romulans have an even worse like brain torture device? I don't know.
I mean,
I
they
don't know.
have a pretty nasty brain torture in DS9. They
Yeah.
also, not exactly torture, but sort of torture as a consequence in Enterprise. With that Andorian subspecies they capture and make fly the ship
Yeah.
and messes with him.
Executive
That-
producer Gene Roddenberry. Executive
Yeah.
producer Rick Berman.
That music there at the end, that was very, ominous, evil sounding. So this episode doesn't end on a light note at all.
Nope.
Mm.
Alright, so I'm going to speed through this end bit pretty quick, but first off, we have something very important that we said we were going to do before.
Cats.
Marley was dead to begin with. There is no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it, and Scrooge's name was good upon change for anything he chose to put his hand to.
Could you
Old
zoom in?
Marley was dead as a doornail. Mind, I don't mean to say that I know of my knowledge what there is particularly dead about a doornail. I might have inclined myself to regard a coffin nail as the deadest piece of ironmongery in the trade, but the wisdom of our ancestors is in the simile, and my unhallowed hand shall not disturb it, or the country's done for. You will therefore permit me to repeat emphatically that Marley was as dead as a doornail. And we're done
Ryan
with
can't.
God,
Can
you
you-
can so tell Dickens was paid by the word.
Asking them. Okay.
I actually,
Go on, Ryan.
before I
It's like
opened this
Dan
up, I
Lorino.
thought that was a Hitchhiker's Guide thing. But no.
No.
Apparently it's that.
The first words of, because you're in chapter 3, the first word of first chapter of is that his business partner dies, and he's dead as a doornail.
No, that was the first chapter. That was the very start of the book there.
Wait, no, I think he was reading from chapter 3, which said Molly was dead as a doornail.
It's
No,
the
that's
first
the-
thing. This is the first thing on the PDF. I mean, I don't have the actual book, but
Marley was his
Ah.
business partner.
It's
Oh,
the
I
very
heard Molly
yeah.
like a daughter. Thank you.
yeah, it's the very start of the book where he says Marley is dead. That's like the very
Mhm.
first sentence of the book.
It
Alright,
is, it is.
tomorrow.
Yep, sorry.
Tomorrow, Deep
Mhm.
Space Nine is going to be The Quickening with more euthanasia. Body Parts, which is a comedy Ferengi episode with somewhat dark undertones. And Broken Link, which is going to be the season finale. And that's going to be about Odo going home. And then we're going to find out some information about Martok. Or
That's a good one.
Galron.
That's a good one. Looking at.
Why were you reading A Christmas Carol?
Because
We were debating to see.
was talking about the Christmas Carol.
Oh, I missed that.
And they were like, you should do the thing where you read the Christmas Carol on stream. It's like, fine, I'll read you 2 paragraphs.
We were debating which is the best movie, and I said book by Charles Dickens.
And next
So-
week,
Okay.
TNG is going to be, in theory, Redemption Parts 1 and 2, and Darmok.
Yay!
Data's Girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
Klingon Civil War, and Darmok and Gelada Tanagra. That's going to be next week.
Sad. I won't be here.
Thank you,
That
chat.
one, you'll have to turn out to listen to it one.
You know, do we have a cat?
We don't to
Give
the
me a
really
moment.
good
Yeah,
part
well,
of
tomorrow.
that.
We have cats.
Cat? Cat?
Cats, plural.
Adjust the frame.
Yeah. But thank you, Bill. Thanks for joining us, Gregor, Gyrinx, Kevin, Michael, Soma, Shell, Faku.
I have a cat too. If you want to bring that in, I don't know if you've been seeing that. I don't know if you've been seeing the cat behind me.
We did once.
Okay,
Page
It's a
one.
it's a toy cat, but still.
Oh, but, thank you, Her Deutschland, also. Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan's stroking the cat with the mouse.
You
Yeah.
always have to do that. It's very
He always
important.
does that.
It's required.
That's. I believe that cat's name is Mara,
Yes.
who I presume is named after Mara Jade.
And 100%.
Okay.
And is that
Yeah, 'cause
your
that's the
cat?
only Mara I know.
And my husband.
I know there's Mara Liason, the
I met a Mara in real life once.
person.
All right, stream's over. Here's the info screen for the people who skipped to the end of the VOD for some reason to see the info. Tomorrow's Deep Space Nine, and I'm out of here.
Why people do
I
that?
require solitude.
See you guys.
Oh, bye.
More food.
Bye.
Right.
Right.